Saturday afternoon in southern Alberta, the high-level bridge constructed back in 1909. We are in Lethbridge for this year's Tim Hortons Brier. It's a championship like no other. The country's best gather. They have been for years. From coast to coast to coast. All in search of the walk of a champion to be called Canada's best. This year, we arrive in Lethbridge. The field contains some of the greatest curlers our country has produced. They include winners of 3 of the last 5 championships. A Brier, an Olympic champion, and a 4-time champion. They all start with the same dream, to win this. The Tim Hortons Brier is next. Opening weekend of the Brier is always so special. First time that Lethbridge has hosted the Men's National Championship. Our feature is Quebec Fournier taking on Team Wildcard in Brad Gushue. Come on inside Inmac Center. Glad you're watching our coverage on TSN. Brad Mudrick joined by Kathy Gauthier and Russ Howard. Vic Roeder will join us later on in the week. And unfortunately, Cheryl Bernard not with us this week. We miss you, Cheryl. In the meantime, we missed the fans. They were back in the building opening night last night. So Kevin Cooey, Team Alberta, Brendan Botcher, Team Canada. They had the hometown support, but those are both close games.
Well, they were close games, but it was so exciting to have the fans back. Saskatchewan has always traveled in packs to the Brier. And last night, Rusty, in that game, there was many cheering for Saskatchewan as for Alberta.
What a game. They're all the games were close, and Cooey, like what, the guy's unbelievable. He just finds a way. 60% for draw weight for him, and he found a way to win that game. He was so worried about his draw in the last end of the forefoot, he played a much more tough double angle raise with soft weight. It had to be perfect to get out of there. Did it again. Kevin
Cooey chasing after his 5th Brier title all time. He was taking on his former teammate Colton Flash last night, and you're right, Russ, it came down to the 11th end. He could have drawn in for the win, but he decided to attempt this shot.
Both of them tough, Brian, but this one, this angle has to be perfect to stick the red on it, but get enough of that other red onto the yellow to get out of the forefoot. Brilliant.
So a great battle. Saskatchewan, Alberta, Kevin Cooey come out on top in that extra end. 9-8 your final score. Dunstone, another wildcard team, beating James Grattan 7-6. That came down to a final stone as well. Team Canada winning their opener. That was a close game against Glen Howard, 5-4, and Newfoundland and Labrador a 7-5 victory over Team Yukon. So just a reminder, it's an outstanding field. Pool A you can see underway. We focus on Pool B today. More importantly, to let you know the top 3 from each pool will qualify for the playoffs. All right, so let's focus on our feature. We'll start with Mike Fournier out of Team Quebec. He's back from the bubble. He was in Calgary, a 4-4 record. What can we expect from his side?
Well, it's a bit of a surprise to see Mike Fournier here. He wanted to retire. He said after the pre-trials that was it, but their 5th player who was going to move in, he got hurt, and so Mike is here. But Felix Asselin, that young junior that we watched from years ago, Brian, he'll be throwing last rock. I don't know. It's going to be tough to beat this Gushue team.
Meantime, Russ, you know this Brad Gushue guy pretty good. Just back from the Olympics, very proud, bringing that bronze medal home. But how much gas is left in the tank?
Well, good point. Physically won't be a problem. These guys are in great shape, and they've had a little time off. But mentally, you have to think they're just worn out. They're spent mentally for sure. This is a long week. At the end of the week, it could catch up to them. But when you think about it, what a rehearsal for the Brier a couple weeks ago. They're going to be sharper than Quebec in game number 1.
As Brad Gushue and company looking for their 4th Brier title all time. Can't wait. First rock next from Lethbridge.
Overall, it was a great experience. Anytime you get a chance to go to the Olympics, it's pretty awesome. And we had a great time, great experience, and to come away with a bronze medal and be one of 3 teams to stand on the podium, we're pretty proud of it.
I think for us it's a great start because, we had a really close game with Brad at the Brier last year. We've played them a ton of times. We know them. They're one of the top teams in the world. But if you're going to catch them and they might be a little tired and they might be a little off their game, this might be the time.
The Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Curling Canada. By Home Hardware, here's how. by Scotty's Facial Tissue. Unleash the Scotties. And by New Holland, proud supporter of Curling Canada.
Okay.
Okie.
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 Okie and welcome.
We acknowledge that we're gathered on the lands of the Blackfoot people of the Canadian Plains.
We pay respect to the Blackfoot peoples past,
present,
and future.
We recognize the thousands of Indigenous peoples
From many diverse nations.
call Lethbridge home.
Including members of the Blackfoot Confederacy.
The six gates of the beat.
Akana,
Siksika. I'm Scoppy people.
As well as other First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples.
We respect Indigenous people's cultural heritage,
Beliefs,
truth,
and relationship to the land
that stretches back in time.
We will not blink at history.
We will not blink at history.
and we will learn from it.
Okie is an invitation.
A step forward.
In Blackfoot, Okie means hello.
Okie means hello.
Hello.
Okie.
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 Okie, and welcome to the lands of the Blackfoot people.
And we feel very welcome. So wonderful to be back in southern Alberta, in Lethbridge, the first weekend of the Tim Hortons Brier. It is staffed to meet the teams, brought to you by Home Hardware. Here's how. And we begin with Team Quebec out of the Glenmore Curling Club. Your skip is Mike Fournier. He's throwing the second stones at lead as Jean-Francois Trepanier at third, Martin Cret, and Felix Asselin will throw the 4 stones for that team. Some familiar faces back from Beijing. Team Wildcard, Jeff Walker leads second, Brett Gallant, third, Mark Nichols, and at skip, Brad Gushue. Well, I guess no rust, at least for the draw to the button, as Team Gushue looking strong. They indeed earn the hammer for this contest. It is Team Quebec, the Red Stones, Team Wildcard, Brad Gushue, the Yellowstones. So Gushue hammer, and to start things off, it is the lead for Team Quebec. And that is Jean-Francois Trepanier, as he's making his third Brier appearance. Was with Fournier last year in the bubble in Calgary, that 4-4 record, and again in Regina, battled in 2018. And Kathy, we had a chance to talk with both the skip, Mike Fournier, and the youngster, Felix Asselin, throwing those 4 stones for this team, and it's a dynamic that seems to work for them.
Well, it really does. Felix is very clear that at some point in his future, he anticipates that he will not only call the game, but throw last rock. Says he's not a front-end player, but they're working with the 4 they had. Mike wanted to retire, but with the injury to Stephen Monroe, their alternate who was going to replace him, the best position they feel with the experience that Mike brings is that he calls the game, but Felix, who is the future, throws last stone.
Okay. How about? Okay, good shot. Let's go.
Center guard for Quebec overcurled dramatically, so it's really a corner, and Brad didn't waste much time going around it. Perfect.
Good way.
Well, you can see that great crowd in the background. In the introductions, there was great applause for all the teams, but a standing ovation for Brad Gushue, recognizing that Olympic medal, and that is the kind of thing that Gushue's team needs, I think, Russ, early on in this event to counteract that emotional and mental fatigue from coming back from the Olympics.
100%. Yeah, that's absolutely for you. This Gushue's, he embraces the crowd at any time, at any event. He's just that type of guy, and whether he's tired or not tired from the Olympics, it'll help the whole team a lot.
That's what he said. He was hoping for a few fist pumps and a few nice shots to get the crowd going.
And you didn't really get that in Beijing, right? So it's going to help them a lot.
Incredible. 16 years after winning Olympic gold with you, Russ, in Italy. They battled so hard, winning that bronze medal in Beijing, beating Team Schuster, the defending gold medalist, 8-5. And Kathy, we caught up with Mark Nichols before this contest, and they were absolutely, drained after coming an inch away from making that gold medal game. And how hard is it to rebound, park it, Kathy, and play for bronze for your country?
It's probably the most difficult thing, and you asked him about that emotional hug that we saw between Mark and Brad, and he said it really was a culmination of 16 years, knowing that's probably your last Olympics, how incredibly hard it was to bounce back. That's the depth of the team, and that's also the depth of the character of the team members, and that is not to be overlooked.
All right, top 8. Similar to... Good shot. Similar to earlier.
Almost got both yellow. Really good throw. Now, the other thing I think's happened too is 4 years ago when both our teams did not medal, or mixed doubles did with John and Caitlin, but there was quite a negative reaction, I thought, from the media. This time around, the fans are getting it. They realize these other teams, these other countries are unbelievable, and to give Brad and his team a standing ovation, that's fantastic.
Whoa!
Right on my broom. Line's good. Line's good. Just to my broom.
It is.
Good boy, Brett. Good shot.
All right, Russ, let's start with the keys to the game. We'll begin with Team Quebec.
Well, fabulous fourth here for Felix. You mentioned it earlier yesterday. Are you born as a skipper? Can you become one? He's both. he will have no problem here. So just run with it. Just be confident and run with it. And then play with house money. You're playing Team Gushue. Gushue's going to beat a lot of teams here. If you drop your opener, that's okay. Other teams are going to lose to them. So be relaxed, no fear.
Okay, Mike.
And keys to the game for Team Gushue.
Oh, mental toughness for sure. We've touched on it already. Don't forget about the trials before the Olympics. It's all about getting pumped up. We mentioned the crowd. That's going to be huge, especially for Brad himself. It's easy to wander as a skip in a long competition, so that's going to help him a lot. And Walker in the park. Jeff Walker in the trials final against Brad Jacobs was unconscious, and that made the difference. He can make the difference right here in this game against Quebec.
Keys to the game brought to you by Scotties Facial Tissue. Unleash the Scotties.
Weight's nice. If you're going to go, it needs to be Mark.
Where are you?
Just past half.
Yep.
Legs. Weight's
Mark.
good. Weight's good. Yep.
Whoa.
Go.
Yep.
Finish.
Mark.
Legs.
Whoa, you're close.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Good.
Whoa. Good shot.
Kathy, we talked about the potential for fatigue for this team. Keep in mind, they were quarantined well before the Olympics even began in Beijing, and then you travel over there, the protocols, trying to stay as safe as you can. And when I asked Mark about that moment with Brad and that emotional breakdown after they captured the bronze medal, it was a combination of everything. You mentioned it, Kathy, the 16 years, maybe knowing that this is one of the teams that will look different maybe next year. Is this their last Brier together? And the emotional drain is what Mark said. Physically, we're fine, but that emotional fatigue is so tough to come back from.
It is, and that's not something that you can put a time clock on. You can tell yourself that this is the Brier and you need to do good things, but I do think it's going to be the crowd that carries this Gushue team for the first number of days to park some of that fatigue and remind them about how much they're loved in this country and how much we respect what they've done.
Yeah, I think this shouldn't scare it.
Okay.
Tough miss there from Martin Kret. That opens the door here wide open for team wildcard in the first.
Yeah, I think there's Quebec fatigue here right now. You can go around the corner guard, get some separation, sit 4. There's no guards down the middle where Quebec can get out of jail. There's an awfully good chance of a 2 or a 3 here.
Well, don't forget, Martin was the player that did not practice in the pre-game event, and so he is really new to this ice. He is learning it as he throws, and that was his first throw.
Back of the tee. Jeff said if you're going to go.
T-line.
Back button.
Yep.
Back
T-line.
button.
Whoa, on its own. Right
Back
off.
button.
Right off.
Sit down, Rock. Sit. Okay, Mark, good shot.
So, Kathy, I talked to Martin before the game, and he tested positive for COVID, but had no symptoms before, so he had to go through all the protocols, and I should mention he was okay with us sharing that information and telling his story. And I think that was the part that was tough on this team because he felt fine, but you still got to do what's right. You got to follow the protocol. So as you mentioned, he got here late. He told me before the game he feels great. He's excited to be out here with his teammates, and we should still hear that Martin Kret yell that he's famous for, and he can't wait to get started.
Run it!
Just misses the double. He's one of the great characters, though, of this game and this Brier.
See ever, and he wears his emotions on the sleeve. Nobody tries harder. Impressive voice too. He's I have to say, he's right up there.
I'd say the best ever, Russ. Like
top 2.
Kathy, what do you think? I think #1 all time.
Come on, 10.5 or more. 10.5. 10.5. Forward weight.
But for Martin, some of the things that you get out of that first day, it's not only draw weight, it's your ability to feel comfortable in the building. You're throwing the stones, you're feeling what it's like underfoot, and then he comes into this game, and it's a pressure pack. And don't forget, Quebec's team was appointed. They did not have a provincial playdown, and so they're not coming off a championship. So they're rightfully maybe a little bit of rust.
Oh, no question. You can throw all the rocks you want, but they're not going to be sanded like this in an arena situation where, again, Gushue's just done that 2 weeks ago, and it's showing right now.
Sorry. A little heavy, 10 seconds. Kick the shade full and try.
This is. You going to illustrate the quad for us here, Russ?
You know, I don't see a quad.
But joking, not joking.
With enough speed there to there, if you get that right, it's going to go maybe that way, or they're hoping this way. But they sure have to kill 2 of them here. The other options hit the top left one, Muddy, really, really, really thin.
Into the pocket.
Maybe make them all go
free.
L3, yeah.
Well, you were hot with the telestrator last night. You had a great start. The ink ran out, but I thought maybe you were going to go round the horn there.
Which one do I hit first? Okay.
The only other, if you wanted to get really bold, you could freeze in there.
Trust it.
Try to get an error, then sit 2 and hope Brad doesn't make a double. Giving up 3 or 4 to Gushue's could be a long afternoon.
The one thing that you always say, you and Cheryl and Kathy, if you're going to give up a big end, do it in the first at least. You got the whole game to claw back as Felix Asselin. Bang, bang,
Check
2 will go.
Good toss. Good toss. Thinking just a half rock this way. Yeah. Makes it really tough. Half rock that way makes it easier. I think just a little this way. No, like nose is certainly fine. It's
prefer to play this than try to double and hit a stick.
Yeah, and he might shoot over there. So like this way is best.
Forward.
Taking a bit of a guess, aren't we?
Yeah.
What do you think there?
I think so.
Well thought out. If they roll away from the one that Felix is going to hit first, it actually sets up a natural half rock double.
And if we can get a half rock roll to the broom, it'd be ideal, but nose is, still a...
And why Brad wants to roll that half rock is because the double becomes super thin. Even if it's made, Quebec rolls out and it's a free draw for 2.
It's probably max is what I'm thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Brad's job here is not to remove the enemy rock, it's to hang around, so he's going to throw the appropriate speed here, board weight.
What a resume, and nobody with more appearances than Brad Gushue at the Brier for the 19th time. 151 wins, 72 losses, a .677 winning percentage as he is back looking for his 4th Brier title all time, and that would put him in some elite company with this entire team. Well, you said it's a bit of a guess. That's pretty good. The lie 3.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect spot. Now, the double has to be made, and we see those missed all the time, and it's a free draw anywhere in the paint.
All right, Kathy, let's begin our updates. BC and Pierce taking on Team Manitoba and McEwen.
Well, that stone that you see buried behind the corner was a run back by Brent Pierce on his final stone. Made the run back and rolled his shooter underneath, and Mike looked for a moment at playing the run back, but is instead elected to play the draw. Needs full 8-foot for the single.
Line's good. Line's good. Run it, Derek.
Brent Pierce's team out of the Royal City Curling Club in New Westminster.
Looks close, guys. I think you can clean it.
Yes.
14-2 should be real close. Should be real close.
Check it.
Throw. Yeah.
And unfortunately, Colin Hodgson not with us, Kathy, but they brought a pretty good weapon, did they not?
Oh, did they ever? And Colton Lott.
Do that one a little better.
Playing lead for this team.
So 1-0 McEwen. And we'll update you all 4 sheets of ice in play here at NMAX Center on this Saturday afternoon in Lethbridge.
Ace double by Felix. Get the cobwebs out for Quebec. Giving up 2 here is that's going to taste a lot better than what it was looking.
I would say a little heavier than draw to button.
Hold in, up it then.
So it could have been worse, as you mentioned, Russ, for Team Quebec in this opening end. But nice opportunity for the bronze medalists from Beijing to slide into their first game with 2 in the first end.
14-6.
Just let her get the curl early.
Good end, boys.
A very nice end as Brad Gushue gets a chance to test out that path of ice on sheet D and pick up a pair. We are underway in Lethbridge. Welcome back to our coverage in Lethbridge. 2 on the board from Team Wildcard and Brad Gushue. I don't know, Russ, it's still weird, looking at them in the Wildcard colors. You've seen them for so many years in the Newfoundland and Labrador red. Of course, Team Canada, an interesting. Team Wildcard has never won the Brier with the Wildcard format, and you got 3 pretty good teams wearing those Wildcard colors this time around.
Best chance ever, no question about it.
Out there.
Oh, don't let it go.
Matt Dunstone, Jason Gunlickson, your other Wildcard teams.
Yes, we can.
Coming down. Patient. Patient, on est bon, boys.
On est fort. On bounce.
It's coming in now.
Very nice. It looked heavy early. They were kind of going to the audible back 8, and it came down. On the crowd side, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Something that we haven't talked about in about 3 years now, Russ, is that crowd side. And the boards are very low here as well. Sometimes there's plexiglass, there's not. And you can see how low they are. So then if you're heading heat, and they're pretty steep, so that heat coming off could really affect A and D, and something like we'll watch.
Well, Kathy, you don't miss out those cutout crowds in Calgary.
Well,
that
the ones that had no heat whatsoever.
It's there. Top 8. Just want to bite the 8-foot here, guys.
It's all there, Brad.
Weight's pretty good.
No, it's all there.
That's pretty good. Needs a curl depth. We can't bounce it all on this line.
It's right next to it.
Whoa. Sit. Okay, not
what
bad.
a Special Olympics, too, for Gallant and obviously Jocelyn, as they're engaged and both had a chance to go to Olympics together. Just what a phenomenal feeling.
What are the odds of that out of Canada?
Amazing.
Yeah, just incredible.
It's like,
and then they're obviously being chosen as the team to go to the World Mixed Double, so it's been quite an adventure, and it's not over yet.
Curled in.
I think you want to move it here.
Yeah, I like that.
So wildcard 3, Northern Ontario, that's Gunlickson and Jacobs. Obviously, you see the blank there. Manitoba, you saw the update, a 1-0 advantage. And 3-0 as Nova Scotia. And Paul Fleming back out of the Halifax Curling Club, taking on Jamie Cooey on sheet C.
Hard! That tree, c'est bon. Hard!
Lose the shooter here.
Okay.
Pretty good. Not bad.
Kind of worked out okay, Brian, because that red that he just made contact with will now eliminate the yellow and top 4 at some point if they choose.
Mike talked about retirement, and this team, they didn't have the playdowns, as Kathy talked about, so they lured him back to play. And Mike was very honest. He said, you know what, Felix, he's the best shot thrower we have on this team, and it's a big reason why he throws the 4 stones, and he's a weapon back there, and you got to go to your strengths, and that's what this team has done.
And a veteran to do that, you might think, well, he's so young, maybe he won't do well under pressure at a Brier with a crowd, and but they know how Felix can play, and he's played well for a long time through the junior ranks. And again, one of those guys that's not afraid to throw the last 2.
And Martin Crete, I mean, his 10th Brier appearance, he has a lot of experience, a lot of games with Jean-Michel Menard. So a lot of experience to call upon for the youngster throwing the 4th stones.
Maybe just bumped it a half rock too far, but I like that line.
Great weight.
A ton of precision out of Team Gushue here early.
I think we freeze on the end, don't we?
What do you do with those yellows, Brian? And the one you're running in's the wrong color, too.
Or even freeze on ours. Yeah, dead freeze. Like in the pocket of ours. Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
You like that?
Sure.
One more.
On peut même les freezer ici. Even freeze on a red inside. Yeah. Not bad. Can't get rid of it.
Do not be heavy here. Like a freeze is a wonderful option, but it's so close to being a disaster, a freeze, because a couple feet heavy, a foot heavy even, you open up those reds, all 3 of them are gone.
When I talked to Mike before the game about what makes Brad Gushue so difficult amongst many things, he said when they say put the rock here, it's pretty much there.
Right.
Their rock placement is world class, and that's what makes him so tough.
No, absolutely, because it just changes the odds for the other team. The degree of difficulty goes up every time they hit that X, that perfect spot. Oh, that's not good.
Oh, laissez-le.
Okay.
Okay, Mike. No, it's all good. Keep your smile, Mike.
Kathy, let's update Gunlickson Jacobs on sheet A.
Well, and it was a more complicated end. Rocks were in play and then a lot scattered. And on his final stone, not getting the roll under. So for sure enough for Jason to see to make the blank.
And great to see Mark Kennedy back as well, and chatting with Mark before the game. It was so great, he said, the experience to be with Team Gushue. Wow. So a rare miss there. And you see Jacobs getting the steal. But he said, you know what? I butted heads with Team Gushue for so many years. It was so cool to go over there and be a part of that Team Canada. And he said it was a wonderful experience and so much respect for the guys in our feature.
And I also heard that Mark made a wonderful speech after they lost that semifinal to Dean. Oh, look at this.
Wow, 1, 2, 3, see ya. From Beijing to Lethbridge, Mark Nichols still brilliant.
Just perfect. The double wasn't that hard. The triple was really hard. Very, very nice. Now look at the mess. 3 buried.
Yeah, they said they'd like to have a few fist pumps out there this week and get the crowd going. That'll help for sure, Mr. Nichols.
Yeah, but I was saying Kennedy gave a really touching speech after they lost that semifinal to get them ready for the bronze medal game, which is, we all talked about, a tough one. Brad really appreciated it.
Martin Cret in some trouble, and he'll just drive the high guard by. Quebec's got to try, find a way to score here with hammer and 2.
Martin's had 3 run backs to start his Brier. He's missed them all, but those are so tough. And narrow going down the other end twice, so that one he kind of oversteered the other way.
Last end, like it's gonna be 4 feet quicker than that, kind of, or 3. Yep. Halfway, bud. Tight? Room length, I think, or tighter.
2 feet short. Line's a little tight too,
2 feet short.
Line's okay.
Whoa, 2 feet short. Whoa, doesn't need to curl.
Line's okay.
Whoa, still 2 feet out.
Whoa,
3 feet out,
right
4 feet out.
Let it stop, let it stop, let it stop. Room length a bit. Room length. Okay, pretty good, Mark.
Shot.
Sit.
Sorry. Bail and bail in a hurry. Straight back, and you hit it right where the broom is. If you can hit the rock in the rings right where the broom is, you could get rid of the top one and the back one. Leave one Gushue rock in play. They need one good one here.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
One more time, Martin Cret. And he'll spill them a bit, but still 3 yellow stones in the house for Team Wildcard.
Playing this.
That's his best throw so far. Good shot. Open it up at least.
Yeah, same spot as mine.
Yeah. Bite in center line. Is that too far over?
I think that's too far over.
Okay.
I mean, but that might, yeah. He needs this pretty thick, Brad. Like half is.
Oh yeah, it's the triple's there for sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
it might stuff it.
Yeah.
Right.
Just a guard, eh?
I think so.
I think we try and guard half of each of them. Let him play this.
Yeah. I think he.
And then we can wrap one around on the outturn if need be. So. Okay.
He's going to have.
I'm gonna need here.
Is this is not smart, is it?
Well, he plays the triple, then we got to chase it around this corner.
Okay.
If we're going to do that, I'd rather play some sort of tap.
Yeah. What do you want to see, Brad?
Brad, where do you want the ice?
A little less.
All right, Kathy, let's check in again on Jamie Cooey and Paul Fleming.
Well, Jamie Cooey drew in, so he certainly knows draw weight on his first to split the house to lie 2. Paul Fleming on his final try to cross house double got 1, but did not catch the other. So half a stone is what he needs in the house to score 2.
It's moving like it's okay.
Okay, bit of backing. Mine's okay.
Great to see Jamie Cooey back in his 14th Brier appearance out of the Yellowknife Curling Center. He's got a little backing if he needs it. And that's just fine for 2. So within 1 now with Team Nova Scotia. We saw Fred here last night cheering on, of course, both his boys as Kevin squeaked out a win for Team Alberta.
Yep.
Hey, line's good. It's okay.
Just out.
Line's good.
Just out.
Unfortunately, we won't have the brother battle unless they can meet in the playoffs together. They got to be top 3 in different groups this time.
Right there. Almost in.
Clean.
Shot.
Good judge, boys.
The year I played with Brad and Mark, of course, it was amazing how the attention to detail on the easy shots, like that required a guard. And they spent about a minute saying, well, we're about an inch off this. We'll kind of guard the back one also, but if we leave him too much at the top, he's got the triple. Let's get it deep so we can use it if we have to. And it really pays dividends against the top teams.
You're talking about playing the draw around the wide outside to get it buried.
Yeah, it's not like you're blanking, Kath.
But Felix will definitely default to hits if he's given an option.
Okay.
He's a big hitter. They did talk about coming around, but likes the hit.
Half rock on the out.
Trying to get everything?
Yeah, I just got to open it up and have a free draw.
I just mentioned it's not like he's blanking. If he does take this on, gets that perfect, the raised rock will go really close to that one. If you get lucky, they're all gone. But more importantly, even if he doesn't make it, kill one in the rings, open it up so his last shot is makeable. Just right where just about where the broom is. It'll be very close to moving all 4 yellow.
Kathy, this is his bread and butter shot, though?
It is. Yeah. He does like to hit, and he's very good at it.
Well, he's got some targets to hit here as the yellow's piling up. Felix Asselin. And he'll clip a couple yellows.
Good shot, kid.
Better.
Good shot.
Much better.
And better in the sense they're trying to open it up to give him a draw path here with his final stone.
Just another inch and a half of curl. That would have been interesting.
Now, if it's a little deep, we'll crank it.
I think edge on edge.
I think edge on edge is ideal. Edge on edge.
Yeah. Bury a quarter even.
Yeah.
I think he's drawing always, but.
Well, that's why I want to keep it out to make it a little tighter hole, but.
You could just guard the hole if you know he's drawing and just make him throw that out-turn hit or in-turn hit over on the side. And with these rocks, the striking bands are so lively. You see a lot of times skips will hit and roll out to give up steals. The draw he's probably making if you give him enough of a
I don't really
port
expect
here.
it any slower than this path.
No, I was thinking I'd only give you a couple feet more and let you work it a bit. Where's the deal here? Full 8. You could probably get away with nibbling, but okay. I don't think we want to nibble. I think we want full 8.
Well, we'll see Brendan Botcher later on tonight. He'll be taking on Darren Moulding and James Grattan and Team New Brunswick. Looking forward to that matchup. And no one's gone back-to-back since Gushue won in 2017 and 2018. As Brendan Botcher will try repeat as Canadian champion.
Play the weight, guys. Full 8. Need it.
Fighting the 4 almost.
Looks heavy.
Here, just pass your broom.
Just nibbling.
Don't want to touch the forefoot because then it's a nose hit.
Picked again, guys. Yeah.
Picked again. That's not a good sign.
Picked again.
See that?
It's right
May
here.
want to ditch that one, eh?
Well, I picked on something right there.
Something at the top of the house.
I got it.
Okay, Mike.
Brad's free draw for 2 over curled by a couple feet at the far end, which made no difference.
Oh, yeah, look.
Okay.
Where was it? It just stopped. It would have been like almost full 4.
So the hit now will not give them a shot if they chose that. It's the draw here, Russ?
That's right. It actually, in some ways, helped Brad because it looked like it was going deep enough. It would have been a nose hit for a single. Now they can't hit it. You won't be shot. So this is right where they practice. You've seen a few shots here. I don't expect the weight to be far off, but not the simplest ports. If you're hair heavy, you could hit that outside one.
Kathy, what kind of time are we expecting here?
I've been clocking about 15:10 between the hog lines, so pretty quick.
So a critical draw in this game. Final stone for Team Quebec and Felix Asselin. And right away, Martin Crête and Jean-Francois Trepanier, all they got. His first draw of the game, and he's got to get it in there at least full 8 to try cut down the damage. And far enough, I think, for just the steal of 1.
I think you're right, Brian.
Sure. You take that out, Mike. That's 1. You want to? Yeah. Okay. 1.
Well brushed. That could have been ball game when he let it go. It had a chance of not getting to the rings.
They jumped it, Russ, right away. All they had to drag it in, but it is a steal of 1 for Team Wildcard and a 3-0 advantage.
We had to sweep it early.
Welcome back inside the NMAX Center. Built for the Canada Games back in 1975. Holds around 5,500 spectators. Some pretty good performances here over the years. They've had Jerry Seinfeld. They've hosted Elton John here. And now Russ Howard. So a lot of, wow, unbelievable characters over the years here in the building. Our first weekend of Brier coverage. Russ Howard, Kathy Gauthier, Brian Mutrick with you. And it is Team Wildcard and Brad Gushue, a 3-0 advantage. That steal of 1 in the second, but it could have been worse if not for the great sweeping from Team Quebec.
That was touch and go right from the time he let it go. And in this type of ice, you're just that pound light. It curls earlier. It's into a slower path. They did really well to save that.
Well, Jean-Francois put his head down and did not get up, and you could hear Felix yelling, jamais, jamais, so never get off of it, and he just didn't, because if he stops even a little bit, it's 2 for sure.
2 would be a lot against a team that's curling 93% so far.
Doesn't look very hard to win.
Line's a little tight, Mark. Hard early.
For us, we talked about it. I mean, that mental fatigue, maybe emotional fatigue might come into play later in the week, but Kathy, you brought up a great point. If you're, 5-0 early, maybe you bury that pretty quickly, don't you?
Well, you start to get on that roll, and this crowd, we've seen how supportive they are of this team and all the teams. It's a very knowledgeable crowd. One of the things that Mark Nichols said is that there were people in the building in China, but he said they weren't curling fans. They were spectators, and it's very different. Here you're hearing applause for great shots on all sheets, and the curlers feed off that. They know that they're not going to get cheers for misses. They're going to get recognized when they make great shots, and that's why you want to produce more of those great shots to get the applause.
Whoa! Jeff!
Roll it, Jeff.
Thanks. The run backs just aren't quite connecting yet.
Russ, we should have asked Mark Nichols if they could have made a deal maybe with Gunlickson and got those orange wildcard jerseys, right? That orange seems to be pretty good with that Gushue team. They've got the black wildcard uniforms this time around.
It sure worked for them at the trials in Saskatoon. Yeah, no kidding. First thing I thought of when I saw them out practicing the day before, wow, they got the orange. That worked for them in 06.
Same weight. Easy, Mark. You got more line.
I think they requested it too. I should say requested it. Everybody, it was a pecking order on how you've done, and
as you qualified, you got to choose color.
And orange was available.
You got to go all the way across center line.
Hard. Room length. Whoa.
Sweeping, guys.
I'm looking over though. Muddy Gunlickson's got orange, so maybe he's figured it out.
Well, I thought there may be a side deal. That's what I'm saying, right? Maybe Gushue comes over and says, "Listen, I like those orange wildcard."
Oh yeah.
You athletes aren't superstitious.
No, not at all.
Are you?
No,
yeah.
not at all. Not at all.
Oh! Jeff!
Mike Fournier. Here in 3, run back again. This time he'll get 1, and he will get 2.
Okay.
Nice shot.
On contrôle le centre, c'est bon, Mike.
The way it's gone so far is really the way you would have predicted it. Yes, we're talking about how Team Gushue might get tired as the week goes along, but you had to give them the advantage. What better practice in the Olympic Winter Games as opposed to Quebec throwing rocks at the club? And you can just see Quebec starting to get a little sharp on those run backs. That draw that gave up the steal keeps them in the game. And now I think you're going to see them make Gushue earn it from now on.
Back 4, back 8.
Back line.
Back 8. No. Back 12.
Back line. Back 12.
Back 8.
It's coming down. No, just let it junk up. Junked up pretty good. Okay.
Wonderful judgment, as always, with that Gushue front end. They knew they yelled back 8 the first time, and then they made a few adjustments. Don't be afraid to do that. A lot of curlers are afraid to commit in case they're wrong.
No, straight draw, Mike.
Straight draw, Mike.
Mike, straight draw.
You heard them say back 8, back 12, back 8.
Just draw and go. Yeah. Ça, c'est de là, ça. Malgré qu'elle colle un petit peu moins ce bord-là.
OK.
Vous voulez voir 4-4-0-5?
Exact. 4-10 même.
10, 10. Donne-nous 10.
Wait the rib.
Line's good, line's good. Just a week.
Gotta go. La ligne.
Yep. Line's good now. Relax. Hard. Hard.
Gotta go, top 12.
Tight to that center.
Tasse-toi après, OK? Go. Yep. I try. Okay, Mike.
Not bad. You ever just
play the same turn?
Well, a lot of times the key shot does come from the skipper, but in that second end, it was all Mark Nichols.
They had the yellows in pretty good spots, but they weren't going to do them any good unless they could get at least 2 doubles. How the heck with the 2 doubles? Let's get all of them right away. Just absolute precision with big weight.
The key shot brought to you by BKT Tires, growing together, and an early smile from Mark Nichols.
Top 12. Whoa, line, whoa, guys, whoa, line this one, whoa.
how's line?
Line's a lot wider. It's going to run into a red one, it looks like.
Got it well. Try to make a
Half
curl.
8. Yeah, I know. I just. Whoa, don't touch. All right, okay.
On gamble un peu, mais c'est pas fou, là.
Sometimes a slight miss like that can help you. Now you can't raise this one because the yellow's in the way. You can't raise this one. You can't raise this one because it's going that way. This one doesn't look very promising. You really don't have any shots. Now you have to go really wide and try to get it to curl into the forefoot. Right, there's room, but it's maybe uncharted ice surface here. Like they're going to have to guess on the speed.
Your Lethbridge traffic jam right there, it looks like, up front right now.
This is a you miss this, you might not get another chance.
So he's just going wide around everything here, Russ, with the intern?
Yeah, and the problem is you have to over curl the corner guard to become shot rock over Gushue's back forefoot rock. Should be really fast here.
Easy. Just for line.
Yep, go. Nice, good. Yeah. Gotta be shot.
Whoa.
Good shot.
Oh, very nice.
Good job, Mike.
Oh, yeah. 1 in a row.
C'est bon. Well done.
Merci. Gotta pump that one in, right?
Yeah.
So.
And it's like anything, he's ticking it.
All right, Kathy, back to work for you. Northwest Territories and Nova Scotia.
Well, Jamie Cooey had those 2 red stones out in the wing on Paul Fleming's first. He elected to ignore them and go around, and he did. And in trying to remove it, Jamie just ticked it over but did not remove it from the shot stone position. So this is a draw for 2.
No, you don't, Phil.
Paul Fleming, familiar face out of the Halifax Curling Club.
Whoa! It's got to stop. It's in the middle. Brian, maybe hit it. Okay, cool. Hi, boy.
And yeah, attaboy, it does come down nicely.
Good judge.
So a 3-point cushion for Fleming over on sheet C.
We're close, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. Might have to work it a hair, but this
Brad
is a little
can't raise the yellow on, so he's just going to try to freeze in there and shrink the scoring surface for Team Quebec.
I think he enjoys this intern, doesn't he, Russ?
Oh, that's
just
money.
Clean it. Heavy.
Bread and butter,
Yeah.
taxes, and Gushue's intern. How many big shots has he made with that?
So true.
Top four. Still biting teeth.
Kathy Gunlickson Jacobs once again over to you.
It's been a lot of runbacks in this end. It has been the Jacobs team throwing them around, and it's been the Gunlickson running them back. That's what happened on Jason's first. And so Brad Jacobs again went around, and this is the attempted run. Would love to blank if he could.
Nothing but the hits for Jason Gunlickson so far. This is a heater, and he'll again drive it back.
I wonder if that was a combination of flashing the outturned peel to give up the steal in the blank attempt in the first, and he oversteered that one narrow.
He definitely pointed.
Yeah, we've all done it, eh? It gets in your head.
So the Brier champ from Edmonton 2013 out to a 2-0 lead over on sheet A.
Elle a touche aux 4 pieds, il faudrait être ici.
Moi, j'y crois. Je pense qu'il est là, moi. Il est passé à 1,5 pied du garde.
Oh, mine. You got to make it. Okay. So let's think about ice here, Felix.
I gotta throw a weight where that shooter sticks, because I need that shooter on the next rock too, right?
I think you want to. You almost want to stick it on this, eh?
If you play the same shot you threw and you freeze to your own, you will not be sitting two.
Red rock. Although if you ever touch this somehow like that,
it's not terrible.
That's
yeah, you might give yourself something.
Yeah.
Back line. Back line.
Back 8.
I think back 12.
Okay. Je pense qu'il est là le draw, guys.
Moi, j'aurais aimé ça se faire celle-là sur la deuxième. Parce que si on est un peu wild, est-ce qu'on
Looks like they're tapping that outside yellow, and I heard Mark say that Nichols that if he gets it a hair thin, it's going to bounce off the red, not make it. So the angle's got to be perfect to get to the forefoot.
And then he wants to leave his shooter there so that he can replicate the shot on his next.
There's a great shot of it. To get it to the yellow at the back, you've got to hair that closest red.
Really tight.
Is it ever?
Okay, good.
We watched Cooey throw a similar shot. Wasn't even close in our game. These angle raises, it's not about the speed. It's getting the perfect line. And when there's 5 feet of curl, it's tough to do.
Yep.
Back 9.
Yeah.
So Asselan, fourth stone thrower, his first here in 3.
Whoa! Jeff! Hard!
So a little wiggle of the red stone, and yeah, just not enough weight on it. And actually, the angle wasn't bad, Russ.
It just ticked and took the enthusiasm out of that stone. Otherwise, he makes it. It was really close.
With the ball.
Overbrushed in reality.
Didn't miss much. They red's there though.
Could open it up pretty. This made his draw a lot harder. What's that? So that one he just
I thought it was just throw one in front of that.
Sure.
Then
he just plays the double.
He just rips this double, doesn't he?
I guess.
It's not easy, but it's certainly there. I was thinking that first call, chip that in. What's that? My first call was just throw a back line and try and chip it in. Like it.
You thinking doing this yourself?
Why not?
Just chip it in there, yeah.
Just be worried you chip it in there and then it's a run for 3.
What if you chip it just right behind the four? He's going to, yeah, that's ideal, Jeff. It's just he hit it air too far.
As they talk it over, Kathy, let's check in again on BC and Manitoba.
It's been all trouble for BC in this end. Brent Pierce faced 4 on his first, tried a double and roll, just got 1. Mike peeled it out. The shot stone does belong to BC. That's the one just thrown by Brent Pierce at the back of the house. But because the guard is long and it's deep, Mike's trying to play a soft weight tap for 4.
He made one just like it in the Manitoba provincial final, Kath. You'll remember that. Just a little soft in-turn with the perfect speed.
And the guy in the house, Reed Carruthers, coming off a wonderful coaching experience with Carrie Anderson and Team Canada. As Carrie and her team, 3 consecutive Scotties titles, and now Reed in the house with Mike McEwen.
Curl, go ahead. Curl distance.
trying to win a Brier title here in Lethbridge, and what an opportunity in this game. Clean the tap, and wow, 1, 2, 3, 4 for Mike McHugh and Team Manitoba.
Too much ice on the first one. Sweet, bud. Sweet.
Well done. They're up by 4.
There's another team, Brian, that's they're due. Like they're always close, and that's hard to do at a Brier field. You know, shot here, shot there, and they're you're playing on the final Sunday.
Whoa, a little heavy. Whoa. Whoa.
Brad's going to try to chip his own almost sideways, and it could be another steal if he gets it perfect.
Whoa.
Oh, this is real close.
On and off, the little chip straight sideways, and that is shot stone for Team Wildcard. What precision.
I don't think it came out far enough that you make it for 3. Shot.
How good is that?
Wait.
That yellow one goes another 4 or 5 inches. Is a double raised triple for 3 points, and I don't know what you do now. There's something for 1, but
Russ, how tough was just calling that path of ice for that shot?
Exactly, and you know, we talk about Mark Nichols' ability to shoot, and I can tell you right now that one of the greatest team players I've ever seen. But that right there, calling that line, anticipating, understanding the speed from Gallant and Walker, gave him that opportunity, and he just made no mistake. That's an art.
So like I could get 1, right? Like the second it spins out, it's 1. Unless I make the double off the yellows, then it's 2. No, but it
Would you play the 1 like this?
I think so. I don't think I can ever do it this way.
Do you think I think it drags though.
Tu vas essayer de la slicer?
Encore du time out tout de suite ou? Sinon c'est ça ou we're hoping it licks the red.
What a shot.
Yeah, but if it licks the red, it could lick the 4.
I know, but at this point missing is.
But that's steal of 3.
Okay, I think it's that. I think it's this one.
So the high double run back to try drive it into the yellows?
If you're on this, like.
J'aime mieux le double, moi.
I like this one. I think it's.
Where are you trying to hit? Half low?
Here.
Can you stick that for 3?
Right?
Out?
Yeah.
Or is that not
no.
out?
Yeah, out turn.
You could stick it for 2.
Half to a third.
My concern is if it comes down, you see that rock top 8. If it wiggles off that one and gets his own, it's a steal of 3. Like, I'm not sure how hard he's going to throw this. It'd be tempting to throw it with like a hack weight or. There's too much space for this rock, these 2 reds to drag, so it's just hitting it on a natural angle. But it's easy to have it hit that top 8 red, and then who knows what happens.
Down by 3, they need something here. A final stone. Felix Asselin.
Whoa, whoa!
On, off. The high run back, tap it back, and they will clip it. And where does that red go? Oh, what an effort, but it spills a bit too far. That was real close.
Yeah, it could have been worse, too. Great try.
Didn't have a lot of options.
Once that goes off his own, hits that red, and luckily it hit enough of the yellow to slow it down. Great, great attempt.
Slides just a bit too far. Another steal, and Gushue leads 4-0.
Mark Nichols.
Clean. It's good.
Gotta go. Really gotta go. Try to hold this up here. Gotta get it by that one. There they did. Now, where's this roll? They're gonna make it 3 in a row. Yeah, lining them up. 1, 2, 3. For the first deuce of the game.
It's good.
Here in 9. Staying with it. And there you go. Gushue.
He tries to make a double here.
Walker will stay with it.
Get it over there!
Hard! Trying to get it over to that corner. Little more scrub. Little more scrub. Oh, nearly to it. Looking for 2 to tie. And pours an extra.
Has to curl them out.
Has to curl them out. Here's Harvey. Can you help this over? Stay with it. Watch the roll. Look out. Oh, and the roll too far. Fred Gushue will go to Beijing.
That game was incredible. I mean, both teams, you could have flipped a coin for the Brads. Brad Gushue, obviously, what a win. And then you see in Beijing another medal, and what a rebound. I know they were devastated losing to Nicodine, who eventually won it all, and then battling back, dropping Schuster 8-5. And you'll never forget, Russ, that gold in 2006, but a gold and a bronze, and just full kudos, well deserved.
No kidding.
And in control here in our feature, Quebec. Brad Gushue, and of course, always working. Jules Ochar in the background. He's done it for so long, the Canadian Curling Hall of Famer. It's incredible for Ochar. 7 Brier titles, 4 world titles, Olympic gold, silver, and bronze. Remember his time with Kevin Martin as well. So, Coach Och, one of the greatest to do it of all time.
Okay, Mike. Let's follow you. Tempt him into that, hey?
So 4-0 for Team Wildcard in our feature. It is Quebec again with Hammer. It's been a few stolen points here in a row for Brad Gushue. They opened things up with a pair with Hammer and slowly stealing themselves here to a 4-0 advantage.
It's all about applying pressure, and I mentioned in the opening about Jeff Walker. He was the difference in that trials final against Jacobs. He was just unconscious, and it just puts pressure on your opponent, and that's what you're seeing here. 91% for Walker, 96% for Gallant. How tough are the shots for Quebec?
Maybe a little short of it. Just short of it. Okay, go ahead then. Line's good. Get it to my room when you're good. Yep. Hard.
Remember at the bubble in Calgary, this team had 8-4 record. Only 11 players in history have won the Brier 4 times, and this entire team is trying to do just that here in Lethbridge.
That's amazing.
Go around.
What?
Qu'est-ce que t'en penses, Jeff?
Je rentre pas tout de suite. Je pense
that's not bad.
No,
I mean, they're following it, but...
Run back.
Time's
Slash
up.
red, I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
You
gotta open it up.
Yeah, you have to go off script here at some point. It's just maybe too early in the game yet and too early in the end.
Get all of them?
Yeah, close to nose.
But you're gonna get this, though.
Close to nose.
Okay.
Trying to, delicate here, you're trying to run back yellow onto yellow, but if you make that, you might lose your corner guard, which is pretty valuable when you're 4 down.
Mike Fournier.
Okay, Mike. Shot.
Nicely done, but leaves a red.
Shot. Stop. Come on, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Same thing.
Yeah. Where was my one?
All right, Kathy Gauthier, line 1. Let's update Cooey and Fleming on sheet C.
Well, a lot of discussion by Jamie about whether to draw and take the force in this end, but after the hit by Paul Fleming, but he's elected to try to play the double. If he can make the double, he brings his own stone into play, a chance for 2.
Don't go wrong. Whoa. Hard rope.
Oh, so close to clipping that yellow.
It's good enough for 1.
So the single, and if they were watching action last night, Kathy, it is not over till it's over. We had a ton of back and forth games. Every game on all 4 sheets were very close last night.
Yeah, and you know, some of the 3 of them could have been upsets too. And you know, Grattan took Dunstone to the limit. Glenn, if he makes his last shot, probably wins in an extra end against Botcher. There were some really close ones. Cooey, I don't know how he pulled his game out. Nice to have that parity, isn't it?
I think it's going to set up for an outstanding week.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. Felix. Hi, Felix. Hi.
Got to curl a good inch.
Not bad. Okay. Good shoot.
I wonder what Martin, how he'll react if he has to throw a wide open hit or a draw. He's raising stuff in from 30 feet. That's all he's had.
Well, Kathy, I think the comment was, I mean, everyone in the group is going to have to play Brad Gushue. So why not game 1? They're back from Beijing, and it is what it is, right? And this Quebec team also I think Felix told us, Kathy, what they played in 6 spiels.
They did.
To warm up for this.
They did, and he felt like they'd had a good season. They came into this with, he said, the most points that they've ever had. The challenge is you're hoping that this Gushue team is tired from the Olympics, but they've also had the most pressure, the most intense training, and even mentally or emotionally tired, they're still going to be so tough to beat.
I love Mark talking to us, Kathy, saying, well, you know, Brad Gushue's getting old. You know, he's feeling it up there, even though Mark's 42 and Brad's 41. But he made sure that we got that across to the nation. So there you go, Mark. They've known each other, well, like brothers, right? So long curling together and still having a great time doing it, and still 2 of the best in the game.
Tried to throw, and probably threw 6.
Line's good.
Oh, I thought it was really interesting, Muddy, when you asked him about his view of how many teams would change. That was the topic of conversation last night, and he said he thinks that very few of the 8 will be together, but he knows of 2 in particular that have thought about changes. They've talked about other changes, but should they win, those changes won't necessarily happen. So the shell game won't start until Sunday night.
It really is, though, guys, the free agent frenzy of curling every 4 years. And I mean, you know, there's shakeups. It's bound to happen. A lot of teams have been more honest than others, and some obviously are keeping their cards close to their chest because it's the Brier, it's the big show. You get through this, but I'll tell you what, you know, to a man, you ask a lot of the teams, let's say the top 8 teams in the country, how many will be the same, and a lot of players shake their heads and say, not many.
None of them, yeah. Even a couple have said none of them.
It's good.
And then the next thing is, to Kathy's point, if that first domino doesn't drop, then maybe the next team doesn't get together, and it's going to be fascinating. We need to do a trade show or something. It's a half hour.
Right kind of beside it.
We'll let you host that one.
Okay, thanks.
In summer. I'll call in from the golf course.
Same ice as Mark.
Just a broom head.
Nice shot, nice freeze there. It really gives Felix a chance to possibly score 2 here. Brad makes a mistake.
I think you're playing
The yellow he's throwing won't roll.
One thing I like about Brad's delivery is if you look at the broom position, he's taking a good 6 inches, 7 inches more than almost everybody he plays, because he throws it at the broom and allows it to curl, and that allows him to get to spots that other people can't.
All right, Kathy, looks, once again, Brent Pierce has some work to do here.
Well, Mike McEwen just made a wonderful shot to lie those 2 buried, and you can see the real estate is really small. For Brent needs to go wide outside and essentially bury a stone that is biting the button to get to the button.
I don't think so. I think it's light, if anything. Curl.
5-1, obviously, Manitoba. Pierce trying to turn things around. This is a tough shot. Right now, he's on his red.
Hard, Nick. Hard, Nick. Hard. Hard, Nick.
Trying to limit the damage, a little bit more drag, and one for sure. Yeah, I think just the single. So another point on the board for Team Mike McEwen.
That was so close to touching the guard, and it's a steal of 4.
Elle va être complètement cachée. Là.
No stop.
No stop de combien?
Quoi louer? Backé à la garde.
Faut pas trop taper. La seconde qu'on tape, on va tomber shot.
On n'est pas shot, là?
Je sais pas.
Pas mal sûr qu'avec ce qui vient.
Meantime, the other wild card team, Jason Gunlickson, Kathy, and Brad Jacobs.
Facing 3 is Jason. He tried a soft run back on his first, but did not get the result that he needed. Brad Jacobs hit to lie 3 on his final. Needs to get right on the nose.
Big scrub, Matt Wozniak, drive it back and stick it, and he will.
Game saver.
Huge.
Okay, line call case.
And that's the kind of weight that we expected Jason to play on some of his run backs, just overthrowing them.
Yeah, well said.
And Russ, what's Felix playing here in our feature?
He's trying to get. Brad didn't quite get perfect depth, but he didn't get enough curls. I think he can get to the inside here, roll underneath.
Brett and Trepanier, big drag and a little wiggle. Still shot stone, Team Quebec.
Touched his Brad's top yellow. He was trying to get by that. Would have been perfect. Good throw though. Just trying to sneak by that yellow and just grazes the back one.
that.
Okay.
Just wondering what weight. We really haven't seen anything down here.
Too much of it, really.
Like a solid normal?
Too much of the yellow.
I like whatever you.
Yeah. I don't mind even just peeling it out because it almost. I just think if you ever roll it to back button, it kind of makes it easier. But it's up.
Okay, easy.
Like 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5, 8.
The reason he's throwing it that hard is that the lighter you throw it, the more it's going to curl, and then that port between the red guard and the yellow in the rings gets smaller because there's more curl. So he's going to take the curl out of it by throwing it hard, and that makes that port a little bigger. He doesn't care where the shooter goes. He just wants to hit the high side of that yellow and kill the red Quebec stone, and then Felix is in big trouble.
Yep.
Hard, bud.
Hard, Jeff. Hard. Hard, Jeff. Hard.
Final stone, Brier Gushue.
Hard.
Here in 4. Bang tap gone.
Okay.
Team wild card, line 2, 1 to come for Quebec.
Shot. A little soft on the
A little narrow. Ideally, he gets that yellow to stay there, but I don't think he could ever keep it in front of the tee line. So it might have been a blessing that the yellow when he raised rolled out anyways. Now there's no pocket. Felix has got a tough shot.
Yeah, I wanted to get a little bit wider than that, but I also, that red one was in my eye a little bit, the wide one.
Yeah.
So,
draw, yeah. Oh, hitting it thick is the.
Yeah. To make it real good, you're squeaking that red one.
Same way, for high side.
Yeah.
All I see is that wide come around, tap the red to the button, right? I don't see much else.
You concur there, Kathy?
I do, and that's the call.
Ouais, demi-roche, j'aime ça, Félix. Make it good. Même moi, tu vas être proche.
Similar to the shot he just threw.
Oh, he did say the same weight. He's just trying to do the same thing as you said, Russ.
Final stone on the way here in 4. It is a big one for Felix Asselin. In trouble again. Line's got to be good, weight's got to be good, and it is perfect. What a shot.
Good call. There you go.
As the 27-year-old, getting the Quebec fans going here at Lethbridge. Well done to get on the board. Welcome back to our Brier coverage here in Lethbridge. Opening weekend. Nice crowd inside NMAX Center. And really a game-saving shot, that last end from the youngster Felix Asselin, as he had to make that nice little tap. They're on the board as Brad Gushue, team wildcard, a 4-1 advantage here with play underway in 5.
Well, just think about the difficulty that Felix has faced every time he has sat in the hack. It's been a sea of his opponent's stones, and a wonderful shot, but I'm sure he's hoping that maybe he can put some pressure finally on Gushue.
Yeah, I'd go as far to say it's been impressive. He's 56%. It's been impressive that he almost made that. He made a beautiful shot in his first one, the end before that. Made it that raise that just grazed the guard. 2 perfect shots in the 4th to get his single. He's really playing well.
All right, Kathy, over to you again. She'd see Couey Fleming for an update.
Well, a very similar shot for Paul as he placed on his first, the opportunity on his first to split the house, and he did. Jamie Couey only getting 1 and rolling out on his final stone, so any piece of the paint will do for the pair.
Okay. Line's good, guys. Have a look.
And his 10th Brier appearance for Paul Fleming.
Shot.
Remember that outstanding year in 2005 in Edmonton? Silver medal with Sean Adams back when that Furby team was speeding up everybody.
David Nedwin made an unbelievable shot for 5 to break that game opener. It could have gone the other way.
And he's breaking that one open as he leads 7-3 through 5 for Team Nova Scotia.
4-2. Ouais, 25-30, ça fait aussi.
Edge 12.
Remember, that crowd in Edmonton was insane that year because it was Nova Scotia and Dacey, that miracle turnaround. in Saskatoon, and a year later, Nedwin and company took care of business in Edmonton in front of that monster crowd at the old Coliseum.
On est là, on est là, on est là. C'est fort, c'est fort. Dans la maison.
En angle pour qu'elle jambe en arrière.
Hey, Frizz.
Yep.
Not where they wanted that guard.
No, it was the audible trying to figure out what to do with it.
Kind of weight you want. As long as you stay. Throw the weight you think you can stay with.
Like an 8?
Yeah, I like that.
It's good. Yep. Yep. Weight's good. Gotta go. Hard, Mark. Right there. Split set. Really gotta go hard. Hard. You gotta go. Okay.
Brett Gallant, bang, bang. As the two Reds will disappear. It's pretty cool, too. Prince Edward Island, obviously here. Tyler Smith, the skip, and Chris Gallant, though, is here with his brother, and they got a nice photo on social media. Very cool.
That is great.
When I think about Chris Gallant and our coverage of juniors in the past, Brian, we expected Felix maybe would have an opportunity to win a Canadian juniors, but in one of his final years, he was playing, they used to put ping pong tables in the rooms for players to play, and before it even started, at the beginning of the week, he separated his shoulder, this is Felix, and wasn't able to curl because he separated his shoulder playing ping pong. And I think about it with Gallant, because Chris Gallant represented PEI at the Canada Games playing ping pong, and he was known for what he would do at the Canadian Juniors, but all of a sudden you put your shoulder out playing ping pong and you can't curl. Yike.
But wasn't that same event, Kathy? Did he not try to come back with a sling? But
he did.
Yeah, and he couldn't really sweep, obviously.
Well, it's pretty hard.
Yeah. Ping pong, it'll get you. You got to be careful.
No kidding.
It's good. Yep. Normal. Hard. Whoa. Whoa. Jeff.
Come on, bud. Gotta go.
Hard, Jeff. Hard. Sorry, Mark. My fault.
All right.
It might be
a little heavy.
Same shot.
More of those things out pretty good, actually.
Yeah, same shot.
Tried to stick that run back, didn't quite make it, but
same shot.
missed it on the brushing, but still a really low risk end for Team Gushue. It feels, it's only the fifth. 6 ends to go, but it feels like Quebec's going to have to really take some chances already.
No.
And this is one of them here, Brian. You're going around a guard that's, for all sake of purposes, useless. It's so long. And trying to get around maybe the one in the rings. Very nice.
And, you know, to that point, too, Russ, you look and we talked to Team Quebec before this game. The lockdowns were pretty severe in that province. They didn't have the provincial playdowns. For this team, their last real big game was back in early December at a slam stop. And obviously, Gushue, there's maybe fatigue mentally and emotionally, but they've been playing on great ice against the best in the world just recently. So that's really tough.
It's a mismatch, really, in that way. You're so prepared for arena surfaces. You know, you can't explain it to people how you've got a harder pebble, a faster sliding surface. You've got massive curl with draw weight, no curl with takeouts. You can't replicate that at all the curling clubs. And big advantage.
I had a chuckle, too, in catching up with Mark Kennedy before the game. I said, did you have to reintroduce yourself to your team? And EJ kind of joked the same thing. They hadn't seen Mark Kennedy in months.
I guess, Yeah, that's right.
They had the playdowns without him, obviously, in Northern Ontario, and they got the Purple Heart. Meantime, Mark, if you don't know the story, was with Team Gushue as the alternate. And, I mean, he threw a million rocks over there. So Mark, in theory, has been on this ice a lot as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Great ice.
Yeah, they were in BC for a couple of weeks before they went to Beijing, right? So, that would have been a long period of time. Little bit of an opening here. If he could glue this onto the back Gushue rock, it'll be buried.
Hard, Jeff! Just for weight! Hard, Jeff! No shuffle! Just for weight!
Minimum speed here.
Jeff, go, go, go!
Trepanier, Brett, really good scrub the entire way for Felix. And he puts it right on the Tim Hortons lid.
Nice, another good end-to-end brushing attempt here.
It's incredible too, Russ. I mean, you know, calling a lot of the NHL games, you have players, they come off COVID protocol. Just because you're off COVID protocol doesn't mean that you're 100%.
Right.
And for Martin, and he,
right.
you know, with his permission, he told his story about a COVID positive test, but had no symptoms. So obviously it's great to see. You try jump in to sweep a 10-end game. I'm not asking you, I'll ask Kathy. You try jump in and sweep a 10-end game. I mean, it's a lot to ask.
Well, and even just being off for 5 days in isolation and not doing anything, that in and of itself fatigues you just because you're not doing anything.
Got to get this to curl another inch or so.
Shooter!
Gushue run it back and he'll drive it by.
Roll the shooter.
And the first real miss for Team Gushue in this game.
And not by much. It wanted to graze the red as it was. Just missed it.
If I roll it any farther, he can't make it. Sorry, Mark.
Although him trying it, the good thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't think you have a choice with the score the way it is. I think
Oh,
you have
just
to guard
not him,
this.
though. He's got to be here.
Why?
Well, because then he might
then
try
he
it
double,
red,
yeah.
and just shoot this one and this
Yeah,
shooter.
but he could also go red, jam it.
I think you want to be just tight. Biter's fine. Biter's fine. Yeah.
Kathy, over to you again. McHugh and Pierce on sheet B.
Well, for Brent Pierce, it's been a struggle, but it's because of the degree of difficulty he's faced. Mike McEwen personally is on fire. He made an angle slash on his first one, and Brent drew in for shot, and then Mike was able to tap it sideways enough. That's the red one that's in the 8-foot to lie to. And so Brent trying to get down, tap it back, needs to move it back about 8 inches at least in order to score.
And for him, his fourth Brier appearance hasn't been to the show since 2009, but you remember back in 2000 at Saskatoon with Greg McCauley, he won the Brier title. I was waiting.
I might remember.
If you can let me, can I just stick it to you on national TV? I believe he beat Russ Howard in the final.
And Brent, curled 100 at third position for McCauley, and very impressive.
Great shot.
So yes, a nice rebound for the skipper. I'm going to give you a dig, Russ. Let me really dig.
Yeah, that's. Okay. I tried to cut you off. I knew it was coming.
But him trying it is almost a minor victory already.
The only way to make sure that we
si on joue le hit, là, il frappe sur le nez puis il est shot.
Oui,
Dead nose.
Ça, frapper ça, c'est juste pour...
Timeout call, Team Quebec.
Lui, là,
Benoit Forger, the coach.
Ouais, c'est juste pour force.
And
Mike, a little tap to freeze on the back one?
Moi, j'aime essayer de le
That's
voler.
what I would go for.
On a un setup le voler.
Moi, mon point, c'est tant qu'à là, on n'aime pas le tap. Le petit tap, on vise le freeze, puis on tape d'un pied.
C'est pas fou.
Okay,
I love that shot.
It's got to be really good online. We can
Oh, if the line's bad, it's
on
a
peut être
disaster.
fort sur le nez un peu, puis taper la back.
Well, you're playing for this.
We
It's the
got
same shot.
In the tap to leave your shooter right in front.
Right?
Okay.
I guess the straight freeze works too, Kath, if it's lined up.
Right, like you don't want to be corner and then you just give them the free double.
Oh, yeah.
Same then?
So either tap it to there, or keep it lined up, or maybe the straight freeze somewhere in that type of area. But you're absolutely right, Kath. If you get it, on that type of angle, he's giving up 3.
Si on la tape, ils sont enough pareil dans le pocket entre les deux. Fait que si on est dead freeze, on est 1-2. Si on la bounce, on la bounce.
C'est plus important d'avoir nose que de taper à la bonne place.
Ouais, c'est l'angle qui est important.
Même si on n'est pas arrivé freeze ou tap, en longtemps qu'on est nose.
Let's go, Felix.
So they've covered pretty much what you've said, Russ, is that the freeze is fine as long as the angle's right, but the tap, hopefully it goes onto that back yellow one and the angles are that they're lined up.
Did they talk about the straight guard too, just the tight guard? Okay. Because this has to be lined up.
Never line.
No,
never line.
Jeff.
Stay close.
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 No.
Wait. Yep. Jeff. T-line. Jeff.
On est deux.
T-line.
This rock really starting to curl. It'll cross the face, a little tap. And that just leaves the double, does it not?
You got it. That's disaster. You can tell he loved it all the way down. It just took off on him.
We saw a little bit of that yesterday on the center line. Once it gets there, it just jumps.
The straight guard, you'd probably steal one unless Brad makes a hero shot. This was dangerous. Yeah, that's right, Kathy. Last night, everything, once it got close to the center line, was like a magnet. Wow.
So it's queued up to easily score your deuce, but if you hit this right, you avoid that back yellow jam, or are you going to graze it?
I think it's there for 3, but it's the back red. The back red is probably touching the yellow. It's just how much of it.
With that broom, what kind of weight we got here? This is pretty heavy?
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. Because
throwing it.
If it hits a lot of that back yellow, you want some speed to kill both reds. Dead on with speed, and it's a guaranteed 2.
In control the entire game. Here in 5, final stone, Brad Gushue. Red spill, and look at that. 3 more on the board. Gushue cruising in game number 1 at the Tim Hortons Brier here in Lethbridge. They're up 6 through 5. The best teams in Canada are in Lethbridge, and we're expecting a lot of top shots, brought to you by AGI Top Shots. Oh my goodness, what a run back shot, and stick it to boot. Unbelievable.
So tough. He throws this 3 feet heavier than he wants to. Won't even touch it. Can't wreck on his own. If he does, he probably gets 2, but he needs that 3 to get back in this game. It's all a line shot. Johnny's got to be careful this doesn't break early.
Clean.
So final stone here in 6.
Clean. Hard. Yeah. Come on, Beach. Clean. Whoa.
Clean, and now off. You hear John Morris in the house calling line and wait.
Let's go.
Trying to come back to that yellow little tap. That is perfection. A perfect tap, and 3 for Alberta, and there's your answer. Vote for your favorite AGI Top Shot every day at Curling Canada on Instagram. Top Shots is brought to you by AGI, storage and handling equipment for agriculture. Some great shots, expecting a lot more this week as Team Quebec up against a pretty tough competitor here in this team out of Beijing. 7-1 right now, and what do you see, Russ, after 5?
Well, 2 shots that really made a big difference, even though the Gushue team is making a big difference completely. Nichols' triple to set up the steal was unbelievable, and that angled tap that Brad made that Mark Nichols called so perfectly, a team shot, really put Quebec in a hole. The shots have been too hard for Quebec, and nice bounce back there, but it won't be enough.
It's interesting. Career wins all time. Glenn Howard, 160. Gushue and Nichols tied at 151 for win 152 here in Lethbridge.
The Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Curling Canada. By BKT Tires and OK Tire. By Home Hardware, Here's How. And by Sponge Towels, made for real-life messes.
You know, it's just going to be another game of curling, to be honest. I think everyone's hyping it up to be something that it probably won't be. I'm excited and happy for Darren that he found himself on a team. He seems pretty happy out there too, so, you know, hopefully we can walk away with a W from that game, as we want from all the games we play here this week.
It's easy to say, hard to do, but we're going to go out there and treat it like any other game. There's going to be lots of hype with it, obviously, and there has been. Darren's really shared with us the intention of going out there and focusing on our team and doing whatever he can to be a great teammate for us and taking that kind of pressure off of us. We're excited.
You know the story by now. Darren Moulding cut from Team Canada. Brendan Bottcher will take on James Grattan and Team New Brunswick as Moulding has found a new home. And that is the feature tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Draw 3. You know, Bottcher was in tough to win his opener, and Grattan, it came down to a final stone as well. So those are both close games.
Yeah, they could have gone either way, either one of them.
In the meantime, we're going to move over with Team Wildcard Gushue up 7-1 on Team Quebec. We'll move across the sheet of ice at EDMAC Center, and we'll focus on Team Wildcard 3 out of the Morris Curling Club in Manitoba, skipped by Jason Gunlickson, taking on Brad Jacobs and his team from the Sioux. And there you see the scoreboard, 2-1, Northern Ontario leading. Kathy, you've had an eye on this game. How's it progressed thus far?
Well, it really started as a defensive battle, running them up and down, and then we saw a couple of miscues by Jason, but they've really settled in now. More rocks in play, a lot quieter weights, moving things around.
That look reasonable for board? I think so. I like that. I think so.
The edge slightly with that 1-point advantage. Stolen point is Brad Jacobs.
So in a skip stones here in 7. There you see Jason Gunlickson, his numbers through 6, a 2-1 advantage for Northern Ontario. Brad Jacobs with hammer.
Solid. Solid.
Connor Negevin, Matt Wozniak, Adam Casey forming this team.
Hurry!
There's the hit, little flip over, and just under the yellow.
Just underbrushed it a tad. They were trying to, it was precise angle, just missed it. Trying to kick that yellow shot rock of Jacobs out of the way.
So that's jamming there. What are we doing though right now? Right here.
But it does that without boards, right? Like,
that's a great shot.
I'm thinking control, you're not getting that board, we're getting that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I just thought it was a little tough with the. How much did we miss it by? Oh, we just missed it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like it wasn't
right there.
This might be coming really hard, but it might be jamming and it might be jamming.
Yeah, you're right.
So just past it.
So just past it.
That's your spot.
Splitting T?
I think so.
Splitting T is good?
Yeah. Looks close to the line you threw on the draw through the hole. Yeah, exactly. Okay, buddy, right in the tee.
Doesn't have anything on there.
This yellow one's going right over in that type of area. Chances are it'll roll out because there's not much paint left there when you get to the back 12, but it could jam. So what Jacobs is trying to do here is bury the first one, thinking that Jason Gunlickson's going to throw a rocket and try to kill a few yellows. So actually going around a rock on the button, trying to be on the button. But if anybody can do it today, it's a guy that's 100%.
Not bad at all. You know, Russ, I think back to that Trials final versus Brad Gushue. I mean, remember off the top of the broadcast, I said flip a coin the way that week went. They were both so brilliant in that game.
In their round robin game, they did the draw to the button, and E.J. Herndon's rock picked. And they still brushed it to the side of the button, but it wasn't close enough. That gave Gushue hammer. That game went to an extra end. Guess who had hammer? Gushue. At the end of the week, when the smoke cleared, they were tied, but Gushue had beaten him in that game in an extra end.
By 1.
So then that gave him hammer, and he beat Jacobs by 1 to go to the Olympics.
That's not a bad spot, man. I mean, his has to be perfect.
Oh, I love that.
Go ahead, good throw, really good throw.
Mark Kennedy, of course, from Alberta, hoping that there's some Alberta support for this Northern Ontario side.
Not at all.
Why not, right?
That's right.
They'll adopt the rest of the guys
yeah.
from the Sioux, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think you're like, if you're
No. If we know it's the front, are we not just shot? Yeah, we're shot. Isn't that the shot?
trying to line it up so the red goes this way, I like that.
Yeah. I think timeout. This is. Yeah.
We have an hour, but.
He's.
It's either freeze to the back one or hammer that yellow on the top.
We got to hit it a little bit high, if anything.
The problem with high is just giving the yellow back. Well, that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. But like, we got to be shot, or it's not worth it.
Yeah, no.
And
you can't roll this way because then he's just got the 5 back.
Rob Gordon
the
is
other
their
issue is
fifth
you might have
player.
red because this is probably jamming. Like, we're probably not killing any yellows. Well, like my first call is just make this draw as good as you can. He's got to pick it one way or the other for 2.
If he ever touches the
This is really good.
Can we touch this and roll low, like get it just past the 2?
Because then, like, it's only for 2.
Yeah, he's just, yeah. It's an easy draw then, isn't it?
Well, he's going to tap
shot,
us, right?
If we're shot, it's not that
Like, I'm
easy.
saying if you could get a hair low with back 8.
Okay.
I just think that's almost like a sweeping thing. I'm just throwing a
draw.
You're just drawing.
I'm just drawing there.
And like if you're frozen in front, it's still not a gimme 2.
Well,
right?
if we're shot, like that's perfect. If I'm like 1 inch short of him dead square, how does he score 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Right?
a shot, I think, Kat.
That's a shot.
Yeah.
I don't like to hit. Do you?
Not a fan.
Just inside that little
I
line.
think if you play the freeze and Gunner's right, if you're a little short of it, as long as you're lined up, it's you almost got to pick it clean to get your 2. You can easily force Northern Ontario to a single or maybe even a steal. And you just watched it.
This is you played here was and the ice.
He'll
was
have
good.
this, but it's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah, 'cause you're-
Like that 85, Jay? To an 82 to the winger?
Yeah. I think that's your wing.
Like it.
You got a little heavy?
Nope.
Okay. Wait's
Line's
good.
close.
Back 4. Line's close. Don't want to.
Connor Negevin
Line's
and
getting
Matt
really
Wozniak
good.
on the
Connor.
brush.
Line's good. Line's
Adam
good.
Casey, who's represented 4 provinces or territories in his Brier career, tied with
Wait, sir.
Ryan Fry in that regard for
Yep.
Canada representation.
Yep, you're getting too low.
Just by the red, walk it in. Does it stop in time for shot? It will not.
That was hard to do.
That was hard to do.
No kidding. Look where that top red one is, and it's
Follow the same
overburied
line.
in a 2.5 foot.
Yeah, if I'm
curled
better weight.
14 inches in 2.5 feet.
I think it's
Amazing.
That's good. It's not easy.
Yeah. 3 is very hard.
So the shot for 2 is there. Is the 3 spot there?
Well, I didn't think Gunlickson could put it where he did, so maybe it is. I guess in theory, Brian, you as a skip, you're throwing top 4 here, and you're giving it to the Guns.
Okay.
And if the line is incredible, if Kennedy takes the risk on to hair that guard, I think he could tap it for 3.
All right, come on, former skipper. Like,
Yeah,
would you be salivating here because you don't got to move it far?
No, I'm trying for 2.
Okay.
That's what you started to do at the start of the end that put you up 4-1.
I'm behind this, Brian. It is over buried as Brad Jacobs sits in the hack. Doesn't mean it's not there, but the visual is not to play for 3 and wind up bouncing off and getting 1.
Final stone from the Olympic gold medalist from Sochi.
Right on the tee line with this line.
Come on. Swing.
Ryan Harnden, E.J. Harnden,
Hard Ryan.
longtime brothers and rushers of this team.
Keep going.
Trying to at least use the backing for a second shot stone and not to be.
1.
So Gunlickson gets away with one there. Just a single for Brad Jacobs. In a close contest here, 3-1. Northern Ontario leads.
Because it's not like you can play a pick.
And welcome back to Lethbridge, the 3rd largest city in the great province of Alberta. Just over 100,000 people calling this city home. It's our home for the next week or so. Tim Hortons Brier, first time ever the men's national championship has been in this great city. A 3-1 advantage. Northern Ontario over Team Wildcard and Jason Gunlickson. And it is Gunlickson, the Redstones with hammer here in 8.
Good shot, buddy.
Beauty, Connor.
Just probably a positive release more than anything. The weight was really close for Jacobs, and it just stayed on the good stuff too long. Really well played in by Northern Ontario. Came up empty with 1.
Yeah, that's
so street fast.
unbelievable how quick that rock is.
Interesting. You picked up on a stone that's much quicker. Chances are it curls less.
I got there.
Line's good.
Top 4.
Roof.
It's close.
Line's good. Line's
Top
good.
eight.
Clean.
E.J. Harnden, second stones for Team Northern Ontario.
Line's good. You got roof. Line's good. Stay on it for line. Stay on it for line. Stay on it for line. Hard, Pete.
Keep going. You got a good one. Whoa! Line them up. Line them up.
Keep going. It's good there.
Well,
Great sweep.
Well brushed.
Nose, what turn? In? Yeah, it looks like an in shot.
Nose.
Nose.
You got it, was.
Straight, eh?
Yeah, straight.
Whoa. Whoa. Straight. Hard. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Attaboy. Nice shot.
Kind of you got one or the other. Like,
Yeah. No,
You know, Russ and Kathy, one person we should give a shout out to when you look at this Northern Ontario team is Jordan Chandler, who is a longtime name in Northern Ontario with Mark Kennedy at the Olympics with Brad Gushue. He stepped in. They had to earn their Purple Heart. They did so. So certainly a shout out to him, Kathy, for being able to step in and help this team out.
Well, and he knew that was coming for a while, but it's a lot of pressure on you to join a team of this kind of renown and expect to replace Mark Kennedy, and obviously it was seamless.
Marks.
Trying to get a little more curl here.
Keep going. Come on, keep going, Mark.
Hard, Mark. Hard, Mark.
Very
piece. Hard.
Yep.
Hard.
Good sweep.
Nice sweep.
And there's a look at Jordan Chandler. Takes a village, right? You know, there's so many people to help out these elite teams from across Canada.
No.
Caleb Flaxey also, Brad talks about him as being such a heavy analytics guy and knowing stones in the game and situations.
Okay, that's fine.
Good shot.
Nice shot.
Another good start to an end for Northern Ontario.
If anything, cross it a bit.
Had Gunlickson chasing right from the
Speed looks
drop of
good
the
here
puck,
still.
really. The intern draw, if Jason has to draw the button at this point, is not available because of those corner guards. So Mark will probably, if anything, keep this on the high side.
Way tight.
A little bit early.
Halfway tight. We're tight.
How's the weight?
Easy. Line's good. Just line.
Line's good now.
Okay, we're there.
Wait, first.
Might have to
Tight.
curl.
Clean.
Gotta go.
Has to curl.
Go ahead, yep.
Has to curl.
Yep, go ahead.
Gotta go.
A little bit more,
Gotta go.
Whoa, yep.
Yep.
Now you're good there. Very nice.
Shot. Good sweep,
Couldn't
guys.
have carried it down any better.
One more crack.
The triple and roll.
Yeah, like a hair low. Yeah, you can make a real good one. Hair low.
Brilliant numbers from Adam.
This is the through this a few times. Yeah, you've thrown this. You got it, bud.
You would get the plus there, right? Out-color your opposition by 5% or more.
To out-curl Kennedy, you got to frame that one.
Yep. Hard. Whoa.
Adam Casey.
So good.
Shot, Adam. Shot, Case. Good sweep.
Just a sliver more, eh?
Yeah.
Top button.
Real close. Real close.
Line's good. A
little bit for line.
Wait. Line's good, boys.
Top
right
four.
here. EJ, stay close.
Top
Line's
four.
good. Right here, right on my broom.
Doesn't have to curl.
EJ, if anything.
There. We're close.
Right here. EJ.
Great.
Nice.
Mark Kennedy puts the top four buried behind that center line guard.
Great throw.
Thanks, buddy.
And Tuesday morning is going to be a special game because Mark Kennedy's brother is also in the field as Glenn is currently on the ice playing with Jamie Cooey. And there he is. And Mark telling me that Glenn has a lot of family and friends coming down. So, yeah, there's a lot of, you know, imports, but I guess fans cheering on these Alberta boys. And the brothers on the ice at the same Brier. So how cool is that? We talk a little about Kevin Cooey and Jamie going head-to-head. Different pools this time around, so unless they make the playoffs. But, yeah, the Kennedy brothers head-to-head on Tuesday morning here at the Brier. So very cool.
A lefty and a righty.
Curl,
come on, Maddie.
Curl, Maddie.
Come on, Maddie.
Shot.
Gets it out of there.
Okay.
And just by rolling the red one a couple of feet gives
Okay,
Gunlickson a little more space if Jacobs buries it. And it changes Jacobs' shot.
Where's the spot for the outturn? Is it here?
Yeah, ish. if anything.
Well, last night the games were close right across the board. Little different story here. You can see that Manitoba, Nova Scotia, and the game we started with, Team Wildcard 1 and Brad Gushue all commanding leads in their respective games.
Right around here.
Yeah, I like it.
Even with that, it's fine, right?
Yeah. Ideally, we're not past it because he'll make it, and then he's looking to play that if he can. Okay, full 8 foot.
Respect.
Here, Mark?
That's what I'm thinking.
He's
I can bite the
give Gunner a flat double. He's going to make it, so they have to. They'd love to have this on the top of the button buried, but that sets up a double for Team Wildcard. So you almost have to go like full 8 here, Brian. I don't think you want to be totally in the 4 foot.
Yeah, like I don't think anything but that, and you're getting an angle run.
You make that, he hits, then you're going to get the loop run.
Good speed.
You're out there.
Yeah, we got
a
some
lot of
room.
line.
Skip Stone's here in 8.
Probably too much line at the moment. Hey.
Right here. Lots of room.
Or T-line. Here, like breathing those yellows.
This is wide, really wide. Remember, he was a bit wide last end for the draw for 2.
Yep. Harder. Yep. Go. Okay, it's not a bad spot, actually.
Too bad. Good throw.
Sorry, guys.
You're evaluating. Kind of came down a bit.
Player comparisons are brought to you by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada. And right now it is Brad Jacobs, the advantage over Gunlickson. Hits perfect, you see there, and he's got him by 10% thus far.
I don't think that's too much. I think it's good.
But here we go, all of a sudden, because that's not in the top 8 buried, it gives Wildcard a chance to get around here. You can't play the red raise if you're Jacobs, and you could give up 2 here. It could be a tie score here in a hurry.
So, Kathy, interesting. We started our feature on sheet D on the crowd side. Now we're over to sheet A on the crowd side. Are you seeing similar ice conditions and times?
Yeah, I am. There's not been a lot of difference. What I'm going to be really interested in is what happens tonight, because yesterday there was one game. This is one game, and it was a morning that there were no curlers out on the ice. So tonight, as the temperature continues to rise, it will be interesting to see what the ice does, and especially on these outside sheets.
Don't want to. Don't want to. Line's good. Don't want to.
T-line.
Heavy.
Heavy case. T-line.
Okay. Play close, Matt.
Coming down.
Stay with it. Line's buried. Line's buried on itself.
It's T-line. It's too much. It's got to sit.
It's got to sit. Sit 5. Sit. Attaboy. Nice shot.
Deeper than they wanted, but it's shot rock buried. You can't do too much better than that.
Nice shot, buddy.
Forces Brad to make a real good freeze.
Foot deep? Yeah, foot deep. Like he's got to freeze, but it's lost. It's pretty good. Good job. Yep.
Sorry?
It's the right call, I think.
Has to be perfect. This draw over here has to be perfect.
What do you think of that?
I think if they play intern Cumberland, they've decided to go with. I like that call even better because I don't think there's a port between the rock that Jacobs just threw in the center guard. So no, there's not. So this is really easy to bury it because you can over curl this.
Yeah, I like this.
As long as you over curl it instead of under curl it, it's a tough shot for.
So where are we going? Like back button?
Gunlickson.
Really sunk?
T-line.
Yeah.
Throw for T.
Even like a back 4-ish and make that run back a little bit longer because I think that's what you'll see. If this is made perfectly, I think you'll see Jason play that red run back. And he makes his share of those.
There, you held on to it though.
Just outstanding numbers you saw at home at those trials in Saskatoon.
Yep.
Straight. Can never touch it.
Yep.
Well then, room down.
Calls it their Stanley Cup every year, this Tim Hortons Brier.
Get ready, EJ.
EJ can go.
Yep. Go ahead.
Just me, Ryan. Just me.
Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep going. Keep going. Get in there. Get in there.
And that is shot Stones out of the 4.
That's where Mark put the berm just perfect because there's no port.
Yeah, like I think This one, that one's not
Yeah,
that bad
no, it's
either.
this one. It's this
Yeah.
one. I just. Yeah.
This red one, right?
Yeah.
What kind of weight control?
What? I think normal and just in the middle of it.
Okay. You got lots of time.
It's interesting how many teams will take this on. Now, you know, the ice is so much better than it used to be. The rocks are straighter, so these hits are a little more easy to make, but you miss this. You know, you're down 3, maybe more if you're going to the yellow one.
7/8 flow.
Would you consider just drawing for 1? Yes, it's getting late and you're 1 down without playing 9, but this is kind of all or nothing.
There you saw Chelsea Carey on the left of your screen. Watching the action is Jason Gudlickson. A big shot. Final stone here in 8. Can he run it back, stick it, and score his 2? Negevin, big scrub. Run it back. He'll clip it. Now he gets the yellow and will get his single.
You guys okay if I get a new shaft?
So close to sticking it for the 2. One more look. Just grazing the yellow. And lucky it redirected it to get that Yellowstone out. So a single on the board for Team Wild Card 3 out of the Mortis Curling Club in Manitoba. As Jacobs leads with him. And there's a look at the NMAX Center. It's home to the Lethbridge Hurricanes. They're on a season-long 7-game road trip right now in the WHL. So we can bring you the Tim Hortons Brier. And after experiencing that bubble in Calgary, whether it's us broadcasting the games, definitely the players, it is so wonderful to have a buzz in the building, fans back, couple of beers, why not on a weekend? And there is 2-time Scotties champ Chelsea Carey. She's also watching the action. And Kathy, how wonderful is this to have this atmosphere back?
Oh, it's tremendous. You know, you can just see it in the demeanor of all of the players, how excited they are. And Mark Nichols said before the game, this is a social sport, and we have missed that so much, not only from not having the fans here, but also from the curlers being isolated to their rooms last year in the bubble. It just feels like the world is returning to normal, certainly for the curlers, and that's a really good thing.
You know, John Morris echoed that completely as well, Kathy, saying the social part of the game is why we all love it. And not even just the fans, like hanging out with your competitors. A lot of them, yeah, you butt heads for years, but that rivalry and that friendly competition, Russ, you can speak to that. Just seeing those faces. And as a skip, how about those chats that you have behind the bumper all the time?
Oh, all the time, yeah, no, for sure. And you're between games, you meet fans at a restaurant or something, and they'll say, you know, why didn't you play that shot in the 5th end? And it's and I find out west, they're so knowledgeable, the crowds, and they're not afraid to say, well, I would have done this, or you know, and that's part of the sport. The strategy is so complex that you can get 9 opinions on a shot, and it's pretty cool.
My favorite part was even this morning coming with you, and a bunch of fans came up and said, "Hey, Glenn Howard, can I know ya?" So that made my day.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really cool and very special to have the fans here back in Lethbridge. All right, Kathy Gauthier, tee us up one more time over on sheet C in the 8th end.
Well, you can see the 3 stones that he faced. I think this is about scoreboard management, trying to make the double. The triple is there. Nova Scotia currently up 4.
Paul Fleming, final stone, 1, 2, oh, maybe all 3. What a shot.
That's how you get a blank.
Just perfect.
Just the way you draw it up, right?
Thanks.
A lovely shot from Paul Fleming.
Sorry about the first one.
Wait's good.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we're there, but by half.
Kathy, he would tell you he planned the blank, right? Was that the?
Well, he was calling
That
it.
was the shot call. That was outstanding.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was outstanding.
Nice shot, Matt. Atta boy. Good pair, bud.
Real nice.
Pair, Matty. Atta boy.
Thanks.
Straight peel, or do you give it a go? I like the in turn. The double peel is about 3/4, thick 3/4. Straight peel's fine.
I like sending down that tolerance to the, in this case, E.J. Herndon. You can't miss it thick and leave a center guard. So try to get the back one, but understanding the smart error is high side.
Keep the shooter, keep the shooter. Shooter. Good. I know. I got it.
Good throw, each.
We take that, wouldn't we?
Oh,
100%, yeah.
But it's high.
No change, right? Same speed? Same speed, bud, yeah. Same as you've been doing.
All right, Kathy, back to you. Our feature we started with, Quebec and wildcard Gushue.
Well, Brad Gushue was lying 2, and without a roll underneath, it is an open shot, an opportunity to put 2 more on the board and make that spread 7.
Clean. Clean. It's good. Just clean it. Clean.
Nice quiet control weight. As Brad Gushue makes it disappear. 2 more on the board as they are cruising to pick up win number 1. Here versus Mike Fournier, Team Quebec.
Really interesting in that end, there was a timeout, and Jules Ochar went out, and I believe that is the first time I've seen him go out for a timeout in years.
They should put him in the game.
So I'm not sure if there was something you wanted to share about rocks, because that is unusual, wouldn't you say, Russ?
Oh, no kidding.
I used to joke with Jules, Kathy, that maybe he just wanted his airtime.
Well,
he, you know, he was a brilliant coach, but not good enough to save me, as he coached me at Nate in college.
Wow.
And the best move I think he ever made was, you know, to say take up broadcasting. So here we are, all these years later.
It's like what, full top 4? I was just gonna try to get a look, and all I get is my
Full 4.
Yeah, like there's this full top button, so full top 4 is perfect.
Full pop here, I think, you guys?
Yeah, full pop, you'll get curl.
What does that mean there, Russ?
It's unbelievable. You could write a book on the slang. Well, that's a new one, but I think what he's saying there is get it out to the broom. Full pop, like this extension. When some of these teams, you could see Adam add. He's saying get it out there, full pop, as opposed to a soft release, which will allow it to curl too soon.
well, we were talking, Russ, in the break a couple of ends ago when Jason was able to make that stone go, and Brad Jacobs was surprised. And one of the things that we were talking about is how this team does work on different releases. And Jason absolutely could have gone wide and then softened it to get that motion, because nothing else explains how it got there.
The old, my old New Brunswick release. That's on the straight ice. Yeah,
Go to the bench, toss it softly in.
Yeah, exactly. It's and with rocks like this, or rocks that have been sanded, especially at the start of the week, you're talking 15, 16 inches difference in curl at the far end.
Play it 2/3, something like that.
The trick's controlling it. If you don't have enough handle, it'll kind of plow, and you'll end up 3-4 feet lighter than you think you're going to be.
So Brad with hammer here, up by 1. He's lying 2, but still the key here to open it up, though, Russ.
Yeah, if he can ever get... they're not happy with the Reds out front, because that's what Jason's all about here. He's going extremely hard to try to get a steal or at least a force here.
Whoa! Ryan!
Mark Kennedy. 1, 2, and 3 disappear. What a shot from the third from Northern Ontario.
Good sweep, boys. Right on, buddy. Good start.
Just fantastic.
The call was clean. Really was.
That's a good point, too. The call was clean, meaning Jacobs himself said clean when he let it go. Not a little wide, little narrow. That was made after he cleaned it off.
Nice to play. It's been a while.
Welcome back, Mr. Kennedy. Obviously, threw a million rocks practicing and doing what he can as the alternate in Beijing. And, yeah, certainly is nice to play and be back with his team here at the Brier.
Ideally, we don't take one, but we'll see.
It's all about risk now. You can't play the double to blank end, so you have to snuggle one in there, not moving something far enough that Brad Jacobs can blast it out of there.
This is like a halfway.
Top 8.
I thought I gave you lots, but you're like...
Fine.
Boys are saying white.
All right, you gotta go line. Gotta go line.
It's a guard. Top 12.
Very light, yeah.
Hook it, hook it, hook it.
What?
Hook it, curl, 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 curl.
Okay, good, Jay. That's fine.
Interesting now, Kathy. What do you do? Do you sit the 3, or do you peel the guard?
Here is like probably a.
Well, I think you want to come in if you can. I know you're thinking defensively. You don't want to give up, but you have a chance to score a couple. Look at the scoreboard.
Yep. You can get it in a good spot, eh?
The one chance Brad had was really tough and didn't make it.
Yeah, I like that broom. So we were here in 7.
Yeah.
Find a way to
And the blank is looking less and less.
Find a way to force the 3. That's not any good.
The speed's good. Okay.
He's Brad, other than being perfect, had 2 out turns. Hang on him, see if he can make this one.
All right, Kathy, back to you. Obviously, Mike McEwen in control here in the 8th. And update on sheet B.
And just played a very simple shot on his first. That stone at the back that is now second shot was the only one there, but there was a guard. He just peeled it straight out so that he would have an open shot. Brent coming in a little bit deeper, and so doesn't need a roll. A nose hit is what he needs for the single.
Whoa. Close. Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Whoa. T-line. Line's great. T on its own.
You also see Kyle Deering into the game as well. Derek Samagalski taking a seat, and there is the tap and the roll and a nice shot, and that should do it and will do it as handshake. So Team Manitoba getting win number 1.
And looking very, very good.
Want to send a shout out too to Colin Hodgson, who's at home watching and sending messages. He has to battle COVID, also has a really tough left quad injury, and he said it's weird watching having a beer on the couch.
Nice hundy.
But to Colin, we say all the best to you, my friend, and get well soon.
Absolutely.
And some adjustment. Colton Locke coming in as their permanent player, and Kyle Deering lost the provincial final to this team, and with the movement of Colton moving up, he was brought in as their 5th. You'll see him wearing a Hodgson jersey.
Sure.
So they're all moving parts.
But I don't think you can make the
thing out turn a little
Impressive
high.
start for McEwen, Kathy. Made a lot of shots.
He made a lot of shots and a lot of range of shots. Some great cut shots, some great hits. That's the kind of confidence that you want.
Great shot needed here. Run double, I'm thinking,
Can't even make the
to...
slip triple because you're a little high side.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Really good spot.
Don't think there's a triple.
Can you get these all moving?
Hard
to get that second one.
I don't see more than 2 going at the most.
Ideally, you make the double, raise double, and stick it. But how do you stick it with this speed?
This speed is fast. What a rocket. Gundlich's 1, and he gets the yellow to spill on top.
Great try.
Can't get them all, so 1 remains, and it will be the draw for 2 for Brad Jacobs.
Brilliant throw.
What's the speed on that one, Kathy? Hog to hog.
Oh, that's probably
just a
5.
Rocket.
Yep.
And he does practice that at the Granite. You'll see Jason out there throwing those, not because he may never need them, but because sometimes he does.
Has he broken any?
Hacks, yes. I'm not sure about the rocks.
And those Blue Hone inserts handle that, Russ?
They can. That's why they're there.
All
yeah.
right. So out-turn draw, final stone here. Brad Jacobs in 9.
Great.
Just through it. That's a dream situation for a skip.
I loved it.
Line's good. You're on this one. You're good. Line's
we're
good.
fine.
It's a little thing, but they never left the brooms. Kept them on the ice. Could happen to get into.
Yellow.
2 yellow it is, as Northern Ontario cruising, looking to pick up win number 1 here in Lethbridge. And welcome back to our coverage, as it is the final end between Team Wildcard number 3, Gunlickson, Brad Jacobs, Northern Ontario. And as we just come to play, you were commenting on this shot selection, what they're trying here, Russ.
Yeah, it was born for mixed doubles, and it's just a brilliant call that none of us were smart enough to think about before mixed doubles. But you've got the corner guard. Gunners put it there for a reason. So Jacobs called Ryan to chip it towards the rings. and roll the shooter. And if you make it perfect, you roll the shooter out of play. And he almost did. It's tough to get around that corner guard and be in the rings. And so what if Gunnlickson's shots in the rings, they can get at it later.
Playing that like, I know. I like guarding the yellow.
Yeah, I think so.
Kathy Gauthier, sheet C, Cooey Fleming again.
Well, Jamie Cooey had an opportunity for a double to lie 2 on his stone, and he got 1, and so that is an opportunity then for Paul, if he can get to full 8 foot for 2.
Line's perfect.
Good, good.
Line's good. Line's good. Line's good.
As the house comes into view. And yeah, just nice weight out of Paul Fleming's hand, and that will do it. Handshakes as well. So Nova Scotia.
Thanks, man.
A win over Northwest Territories. Jamie Cooey. 11-5 your final. They're on the board with a W.
Good job, buddy. Thanks, Tom. Brother. Good game, buddy. Good luck.
Another smart call on our sheet for wild card to guard Jacobs yellow, because even though Jacobs yellow is in the free guard zone, you can hit your own rock. And that's what he do with a 3-point lead. So they've guarded it. So at this point, he can't do anything about those corners. Yep.
Just clean, I think. Just clean. Hi, boy.
EJ Harnden makes the red go away.
Space.
And what started as our feature game, now handshakes as Team Wild Card number 1. Gushue a 9-3 win over Mike Fournier, Team Quebec. And that was the applause you heard just a bit earlier. So they're on the board with a victory as well.
Right there. Okay. Back 4. Easy. Weight's good.
Line's good.
Weight's good. Line's close. Weight's
Close.
Casey's rock.
Line's good.
Casey's rock always.
Has to curl.
Small
Line's
bounce.
good.
Casey's rock. Small bounce. No bounce. Casey's
Whoa.
rock.
They initially called to go around the double corners, which is they'll do eventually.
No bounce at all.
I'm trying to freeze it. This is real close.
Attaboy, attaboy.
Great shot,
How good is
Matt.
that? Like, how difficult is that shot?
It's crazy difficult, because the speed is one thing, but with 5 feet of curl to get that line, if the line's crooked at all, they're gone. Really, really good shot. Are they going to try to get it out of there? Yep.
I like it when you answer your own questions, right?
Keep going. Keep going.
EJ Harnden. Oh, and he did just that. Look at it squirt out right out the right side. And away it goes with that weapon and that weight.
Kathy and I were talking to break about how everything's makeable with these stones. There's a good example. You could not do that in a curling club. Even EJ with the speed, he can throw it.
Even you couldn't?
Well, yeah,
You
I just freeze to it.
Okay. I told you I missed you, man.
Wow. Bit of room. Yeah. Bit of room.
Weight's not bad.
Nice shot.
Bit of room.
Weight's good.
Casey's got to get it going if it's at all close.
Okay. Try to get it over there.
A little more angle, Case. A little more angle.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Should be close. Keep it going, Case.
Come on, Case.
Trying to find the paint here and get it in the rings, and they cannot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nicely done.
The game story is brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Curling Canada. Obviously, the 3-point cushion. You see Brad Jacobs having a great game as well. Russ, what stands out to you?
Well, that and that 90% set up from the front end, really, because Mark Kennedy's been, for him, average, but the front end for Northern Ontario's just been so good. Team Gunnlickson's just had so many difficult shots.
Worst case, if I play this and miss it, I'm probably making the double.
Right.
Which
on
one
my
do you
next
like?
one. On my next one. I like peeling the tight
Peel
one.
now.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Because he's
I
still
thought they might go at the top red onto yellow, but with that angle, Mark's thrown rock might roll into the middle of play, and it's a rock that Northern Ontario doesn't need.
So the Russ Howard pro miss, don't be wide here. Copyright, sorry.
Absolutely.
Mark Kennedy.
That's pretty straight there.
You didn't get a ton of that. So the concept here is bury it. If Northern Ontario only peels one, you've got protection to bury another one.
Down by 3, 4 rocks to come for a Gunlickson team wild card.
It's all there.
Adam Casey delivers.
Not bad.
These guards are so wide, Brian, that you can miss the rings with a shot like this, which would be a disaster. Because you don't have a lot of real estate when this stops.
And needs to stay in the paint here.
Sit, Casey.
Has to sit down. And just bites out in the weeds there, back 12.
Boy.
Perfect.
How do you like making that double?
Attaboy.
Like there's 2 ways, eh?
Probably call it timeout. Okay. I think
There's this way.
Yeah.
Or there's this way.
Where are they? Timer.
It's whichever one you're comfortable with.
Could always try to just bump it out.
Yeah, that was my thought and roll. Like,
Well, yeah,
a couple
yeah.
feet.
Timeout, Northern
Yeah, you
Ontario.
can.
Especially from your
I mean, as long as I'm close for
These
weight, something
guards
good's happening.
really are not in play.
Oh, we called the time?
If you
Like
can
it.
roll.
That's great.
Just thinking from his
Yeah, Mark,
hack,
I don't mind you chasing it. You're from your hack.
like,
That's the best shot, isn't it?
Like just bump it out.
I just throw it just through.
Like
Or a
it's
freeze.
not like you have to tickle the guard to get.
Tickle the guard. I
Well, that's
could
what I mean.
over curl.
Yeah.
I think that's the shot, and if I could roll to a foot or two.
So is that what we're doing then? Like probably chase.
I see what you're saying. If you make the double peel, it's game over.
When you make
I'm
this,
just
it's
saying,
game over.
if you make the chase, he's coming in here
He needs
again.
3 points.
And then we're chasing
He still
again.
has 3 rocks left.
Oh, does he? Oh, yeah, it's Mark's.
I know what you're saying.
It's hard for him to hide, though.
That's my math right there.
That's why he's front end. See,
Kathy?
Excuse me.
you can't count, Kathy. Come on.
Oh, man.
Which turn?
I think we go high side, right?
Yeah, I was thinking high side.
Okay. Yep.
I think so. Huh? 3/4 this side. That's what I'm thinking too.
Two choices: play the double peel, and then no matter where Jason puts the next one, it's a wide open hit to win. I kind of like that call, Kathy.
The double peel?
Yeah.
I love the double peel. You know, Mark was talking about just enough to tap it
Yes,
through.
yes.
And the thing is that if you just graze the top red one, now you've moved it to a center guard or something that's
right.
even more. Now there's 2 guards,
Yep.
and they're better guards.
Yep. Whoa.
Or Kennedy.
Oh, that's not good.
Like I said, I would never play the double peel. Wow.
That is not expected.
No, he's quite a bit narrow there.
Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
Just a little tight.
Just didn't get out to the broom.
So it's not over yet. A
No, we
sliver
don't
of
know.
opportunity now for wild card and Team Gunlickson. One more to come here from
A little bit heavy.
Adam Casey, then into Skip Stones here in Tim.
That's the beautiful part about our sport. We're talking about all these rule changes. You don't need them. Like, there's a chance for 4 here.
Bully! If anybody mad.
Copy.
Okay. Right there.
It's
where it is,
ahead
okay?
of the tee.
You got curl.
Just past your
that
broom.
much curl. That much curl.
Go, Maddie, go. Real nice, Casey.
So assuming Jacobs can't get that out, if he tries the double peel and misses the top red one, the guard, Gunlickson sinks a 3rd one with hammer.
Chase is definitely there. Yep. Okay.
Okay, so just like a here, wait.
I like what Brad did there. He slid 3/4 of the way down the ice to get a perspective
that's
from the
what I'm
far
thinking.
hack to see if this is actually makeable. You can't really tell from the home end.
What do you think of that?
I like that with that.
I like
weight.
it too because how often do we see them call down to the front end and they say, you know, what they can see, and then Brad gets down there and he's like, oh. I don't think I can see that much at all.
And of course, the front end isn't throwing it, so they're going, it's wide open.
And they've got a lot of time too. 2 minutes, 43 seconds
yes.
thinking time. And I think, can you see there, Kathy, 44 seconds
Yes.
for Gunlickson? So a lot of time for Northern Ontario.
Wonderful shot there. You can't see a lot of it.
And with thinking time, the clock is still running. And as Brad delivers, the clock will stop right about now.
What a great view. There is nothing.
No, it's
nothing available to
Can't see
Brad
anything.
Jacobs. You have to just go on blind faith that you're throwing the right weight, that you've got the broom in the right spot.
And two of the best rushers in the world throw it to him by the red stone. Bang, red goes. What a shot.
That's incredible.
That is so much harder than somebody might think it is.
Yeah, because Mark, gets a little cute. It feathers the guard.
You hear the thanks from Mark Kennedy to his skipper.
So good.
Sit. Really good, Brad. Sit.
Oh, you could be drawing, right?
Yeah, probably.
Jason has to ignore the yellow one at this point. Sink another one. Hope Brad misses. Brad will either be drawing to sit 2, or he'll chase this rock.
So far out there, I have no idea what he's going to do.
Here's the thing with your draw. If you split the rings and throw it.
And I apologize. They have a ton of time. It was 8:03. So I'm going to blame Kathy for that. You have younger eyes than I do, Kathy, so you should have caught that.
Back 8.
Killed it. Matty, always. Too much weight.
Weight's good.
Line's getting okay, but still.
T-line.
Killed it.
Only was ever.
Top 8.
Has to be in the rings. Jason Gunlickson
Only was. Got it curl.
down by 3 with hammer. Here in 10.
Matty. As much as you can. We're going to give him the freeze here, and that's okay. Go ahead.
Is it gone?
Okay.
Easy.
What? Yep, go.
Easy.
Go,
We're
go,
in there. We're in there. We're in there.
Nice shot.
Okay, good.
So shot stone, still Northern
Fine, Jay.
Ontario, but
Good.
Brad Jacobs now decision time, and it looks like he'll just follow it in.
Right amount.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think about there?
It's got to be close. That's kind of what I'm seeing them.
Remembering that Jason
That's what I
went
was-
by the
that's what I
guard
was
by
seeing.
about a foot. The finish was all at the end.
Kathy, are their releases different?
Who's Jason's?
Jason's and Brad's.
Oh, dramatically.
Yeah, okay. And do you have to be cognizant of that with your broom?
Well, and
correct?
that's why you saw Brad wait for a moment and really think through. Jason throws a softer release. Brad's got that beautiful pop release. You'll see him sort of almost flick his fingers at the end. So you can expect that it will run straighter.
Yeah, Brad's outturns undercurled, if anything, today. Doesn't have to be perfect here. You have to beat out that nibbler.
That backstone.
Yeah.
Watch the pop as he releases. It's like a flick.
It's good.
T-line.
His
Got
final
room, got
stone
room.
here in
Got
10.
room.
Brad
Line right
Jacobs
now.
trying
Leave
to
it
follow
then.
in Gunlickson.
Line's great. Okay,
No
T-line.
room.
Back
No
bounce.
bounce.
Little bump. Back 4 weight.
Oh, Dan.
Whoa. Got to let it settle. Looks close.
No, we're there, Mark. We're always bumping. Always bumping.
Trying to grind down and stop in time. A little tap, and they lie
Good shot,
too.
Brad. Really good.
And what does Gunlickson even have?
Does the trick, I think.
I think, yeah.
I don't know how you don't lose that red one.
Kind of weight. Control.
Right.
Do you need the yellow red to get the angle?
No. I just need to hit the. I just have the right amount.
Just clip the 5 and hope it stops.
Hope it stops.
Dreaming up. Because like it's
the like little.
it's a quarter for this.
Yeah.
Like
And
a
it's
quarter's
like-
doing this.
Well, you got to throw it pretty soft, obviously.
Can you throw like an intern spinner? And like
He's
try
trying to just redirect it off
try to
the
just,
red,
like,
right?
tickle
I'm
the back
touching
side?
the red, but I think I'm gonna.
Like if you just feather
I know,
tick it, it
it's-
should go through.
Yeah, and
But
I
you
gotta just go over the top
You gotta throw
and
it like light
just
touch
get it
spin,
far enough.
like to be able to make it, right?
So we're gonna try to win 3
You can't
races
throw
here. I
this
like
something
it.
there, I
Yeah,
think.
we're racing a lot of
You
places.
gotta throw it like. I think you gotta throw it spinny to
like-
make it.
I see it
thing,
as
you
like
gotta
a
pull it down.
control weight shot, like a hard board.
That's what I'm seeing in between the two.
Yeah, like
Tell Maddie to take this guy. I'm gonna take the 8.
Okay.
Sorry, Russ, not to ask the obvious here, but I'm going to. Is this even there?
I don't think so. I really do. They kind of do, so I'm hesitant. But the first thing that you have to get right is you have to make the double. To make the double, you have to hit this very thin. To hit it very thin, the yellow will go onto that red. Now, they're hoping it goes underneath, but the red only has to move a foot, and it's out of play, and they can't score 3. So I don't think it's there.
All the way out and all the way over and get that out.
Like that, to me, that looks like he would.
Gudlickson certainly hopes it's there, as it's his last chance here in 10. Needs a miracle. Final stone.
Wait's good.
Close.
They like it out of his hand. Nothing from Adam Casey yet. Wozniak trying to carve it over. Clip the yellow, get across. And a great try, but not to be. And a W for Team Northern Ontario. And for the Harnden brothers, yeah, family, friends, fans in the building. EJ and Ryan win number 100 at the Brier for the brothers. How cool is that to do it together? A quick hello to the Sioux as Jacobs wins his opener 5-3, very early. But the standings, there you go, Pool A and B underway. Keep in mind the top 3 will advance to the playoffs from either pool, as we're just getting started here, opening weekend of the Tim Hortons Brier here in Lethbridge. A lot more action to come later on tonight. We'll step aside and rejoin you shortly here from NMAX Center.
The Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Curling Canada, by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada, by BKT Tires and OK Tire, and by Home Hardware. Here's how.
Nice to have family in attendance as Mark Kennedy, Northern Ontario, picking up a win in game number 1. And yeah, what a feeling. Brian, EJ, those smiles tell the story. Great Brier careers, 100 wins together on the ice as brothers. And we can't wait for this one tonight. Team Canada, Brendan Bottcher, taking on James Grattan and Team New Brunswick. And of course, Darren Moulding joining that team. So a lot of interest in watching that one tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. When myself and Russ and Kathy return, we got you covered right here on TSN. Always special opening weekend here of the Tim Hortons Brier, with more action coming your way tonight. In the meantime, we'll step aside and you'll join MLS action. It's the Vancouver Whitecaps versus NYCFC next on TSN.